You only get what your mind is conditioned for. And I'll put it in the first person. I can only get that which...
Welcome back to the next level of fact.
The following program. The following program is presented by Large Ray's Slow Roast Coffee Sticker Company. Large Ray's Slow Roast Coffee. It's like when you're roasting a guy, but you do it real slow.
Oh hey, welcome back to the next level of fact or freestyle.
Doing stuff in, we're gonna get Ray to be the intern. We're gonna get Delco Media to be the intern. Todd,
What's up?
your Facebook summary of what happened to you while wrapping gifts made me laugh so hard.
It's all true, man. I had everything laid out on my bed and like I don't know what happened. Like one thing led to another. I'm measuring like wrapping paper and then I can't find the scissors. I'm like, what happened? So then I have to let go of the wrapping paper and like the scissors are like under another section. So then I find the scissors, remeasure, cut it, and I can't find the tape. I'm like, what the? I mean, it's just chaos. Absolutely. I mean, I'm like, dude, I need a project manager for sure on this.
The first, well, you know what it's like in Ohio. The first day of the year that you turn the heat on,
Yeah.
the house smells weird because all the dust that's been just kicked out. And then you go through that period where you're like, oh, like I have to switch it from heat then back to air conditioning because the weather switches.
Yeah.
But getting used to it in that first week is, it's like you just landed on the moon and everything's different.
Like, how do I do this again? Yeah, totally.
That was happening to me when I sat down to edit, to do I was getting, like, I haven't edited for months. And so I sat down to get all my clips together. And actually, God's honest truth, I went to eject my 8 terabyte drive and something was holding on to it. And I was like, oh, just force eject. And then like it wouldn't, I plugged it in the next day and it was just like not showing up. It shows up in disk utility like the device does.
Oh, that's a good sign, actually.
Yes. And then the volume won't mount.
Yeah. You could, I mean, you've probably tried, but you could use disk utility as try to repair disk permissions on it. You can try that. I mean, that's a built-in disk utility in your OS. You can run
What button should I push? Because I pushed run first aid and that failed.
Yeah,
that failed.
Yeah. Let me open up disk utility here real quick and I'll actually.
You may be saving me.
Well, let's see. Okay, if you click your drive and then it is not giving me the option to do it on something that's not a boot drive. So like an external, it's not giving me repair disk permissions option. which I didn't realize that was a boot only drive thing.
Maybe one of the spin-offs of Factor Freestyle can be AV help, like extremely not succinct technical help,
Yes.
like even more elaborate and verbose than the FAQ forums.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how irritated. Like I was running error code 12, or he was giving me exit code 12. Okay, and I go to Google it, and I see a bunch of results, and I'm like reading, and it's all of this ads and scrolling, and then it says, "See error code 8." I'm like, so I put quotes around it with error code 12. Did you know that's a Google whack? There are no results.
No, I didn't know that.
Imagine if you had the past 3 years of writing.
Yeah.
And the error code you were getting did not exist on Google. Like that error string. Yeah. I have full faith that everything's going to be okay, by the way, because I put a fraud bar sticker on it.
And I'll be honest, if it comes up in disk utility, like it's showing up there, that's a very, very good sign. All your data is still intact. It's just having problems like mounting, which is a much easier fix. Ray,
we were talking about having problems mounting.
That could be my honeymoon or working at Conlon's doing mounting boards. Which one are you talking about? Can you guys? Am I on? Am I on? I got two major. I'm always on. I got two major situations. My phone thing that holds my phone broke, it snapped, and I didn't know. I canceled the Wi-Fi, so it's this way I don't break up because I'm in the living room.
Yep.
Not canceled Wi-Fi, Todd, like forever. I just turned my Wi-Fi off, so I'm using my data so it doesn't get fuzzy or break up, because Joe doesn't like missing anything I say.
Every single word that comes out of your mouth is like
so
a
important.
gem. It's a gem.
It's extremely important.
I have it in a box. I listen to everyone. Oh, so Todd, Raybo was interviewed by
just
Delco
now
Media today.
Yep, for hours.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think's going on? What do you think? Did you get a chance to ask him any clarifying questions about
I know
his
everything.
origin story?
That's all you need to know, Joe. Is I know everything now. I know everything about Ray. Me and Ray are like this. We're like this. I
want to hear it all.
We may be able to. Ray and I may be able to rule the world. Ray and Ray. We could be Ray.
We could be Ray. Delco Media could be.
I like
Ray.
Yeah.
I really like Ray.
Well, let's wait till he gets on, and you can ask him some questions.
Oh my goodness. In the background, I am also colluding with someone out of Portland who is going to create a band called Bob Harrow and the Overgrippers. And the lead singer is going to have a Bob Harrow mask, and all of the musicians are going to have these giant glove hands.
You and who else
Disney
will think that? You and who else will think that's funny? Maybe Todd.
Bob Harrow.
Who else would understand that and giggle?
I think
Bob Harrow. Will Bob Harrow open up for him? Will he break out the Casio and put it on the 80s beat?
I was going to say Ray,
go nuts.
Ray adding to that with like a little bit of Casio, like the little Casio noise that Ray would add would be fantastic.
I can play the harmonica.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like we could do a couple of shows where the lead singer has the Bob Harrow mask, and then, okay, Bob Harrow will put it on, will do a set, and then at the end, he'll take off the Bob Harrow mask. So Bob Harrow will do the show in the Bob Harrow mask. And then reveal
Maybe
it.
he could, maybe that group and Bob Harrow could open up for the 24 tour.
That would be spectacular.
I got a little more insight on that today. Ray was a wealth of knowledge today.
How does he know about this?
Ray knows about the tour?
Let me tell you something. Ray may know a little. Ray may know a little more about stuff than you. He's a fascinating man. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so do we have to wait, or can you spill the beans?
There's no beans to spill. He's coming on. He's coming on. He's very modest. He's very shy. It's hard to get information out of him, Joe, but he'll.
Well, that may mean that you might be able to
see through it, like, and figure out what his deal is. But yeah.
Well, there you go.
You don't get to where he is without some special training.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I suspected as much. I suspected as much. And so I was telling somebody earlier today, I was telling Brent Moore, I was like, look, here's the facts that we know about Ray, and it can lead to two conclusions. And I go, but here's the thing. If you watch him do infinity rolls, he has a physical skill. And even though he's 50 doing infinity rolls, there's something about the way he does those infinity rolls that he's very precise with. And so I'm thinking he might also have been
somewhere in his
like
life,
a military
he might need to do stuff that's precision. Yeah, he may be. Yeah, he could be an assassin. He could be like an assassin, and he's working undercover maybe.
Yeah, like in that Marky Mark movie that came out yesterday on Apple TV Plus.
Family Man?
Oh.
Yeah.
There's already a movie called Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
No, the family plan.
Sorry,
Family
Ray.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm always right. That's a great movie, by the way. If you ever saw that,
it is.
That movie's. That's one I stumbled upon by accident. It was like coming on, and I was just like, it was like early in the morning or something. I put it on and watched it and loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I have two surprises for you, Ray.
Uh-oh. So I check the front door. It usually comes in a package wrapped with stickers and autographs and instructions.
That's true.
Joe can't send you something unless it has instructions. Like,
yeah, that's true. Or it's either edible, like the pepperoni pizza, or something that has instructions.
Something.
We are going
just
to
add
be,
water.
Dude, when I handed my sister-in-law the Shrimp Rock and the Shrimp Rock Stewards manual, the look on her face, well, first off, she was like, wait, are you serious? And as I was telling her what it was, she goes, are you serious? And Angie just straight, just like Warren did to Ashley, he goes, yes, he believes everything he's telling you right now.
My wife still has the zine, and she's like, hey, we haven't read this for a while. Do we need to read this? I'm like, no, we don't need to read it again. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. She's
how
ready.
Do you know she's not reading it to you when you're sleeping?
She might be. She's ready to drink the Kool-Aid, man. She's down. She's curious. She's a curious person.
Yeah,
that's how I met her. She was curious. She's like, what is this mess?
It's rated.
What is this mess of a guy? We got to figure this out.
PG. It's rated PG-43 for a reason. So don't let it fall into the Elliot's hands.
Oh, I thought that meant. I thought that was Elliot's hands. Are you PG? Elliot skipped G and PG and went right to NC-17. He didn't. Todd, Elliot didn't grow up in a Christian house of happiness and do right. We're a bunch of. There's plenty of happiness, but you know,
There's plenty of happiness.
I saw Elliot at age 8 with his friends here in the house, telling each other at age 8 to go fuck themselves. Fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. So at that point, I was just like, there's really not much else I can do here. I mean, I tried. I did the whole, like, you know,
put
for
up the
about
Last
2
Supper.
years. I did the whole, like, look, you can't curse, you can't this, there's none of that, you can't this, and it got to the point now where it's like, why even, you know, my dad used to say it's like shoveling shit against the tide. It just, you know, just comes right back. That's a great analogy, right? It's like shoveling shit. It's like shoveling shit against the tide, Raven. Just comes right back. There's no fixing it. So yeah, so Elliot could teach you guys some language
He
skills.
probably could. He probably could.
Yeah.
I'm giving up all that. I'm throwing in the towel on the bad language. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I've done well enough.
I love bad language. I like to express myself through bad language. I think it's the most underrated vocabulary. I think you should be allowed to just, you know, be anybody in any situation in the world and just tell someone to go fuck themselves.
Oh, that's true. I agree with that. That's
Like,
that's different.
Well,
than
what's
just,
his name? Elon Musk just did it. Elon Musk just
that
did
was
it
so
when he
good.
was on that thing. It's
That
great.
was so good.
Because there's a point where how many times are you watching anything, say on TV, and you're like, oh, someone should just tell that guy to go fuck himself. But oh, you can't say it. Well, Elon Musk was like, you know what? Those people, yeah, they can go fuck themselves. And the best part about that, I didn't even know what he was really talking about, but I could just tell whatever he was talking about, he fucking meant it. He didn't give a fuck.
Oh, it was true. And there's a very real hustle to take down Twitter and to justify it based on things that on the surface sound horrifying, but like the other social media companies do it way more. Like I think that he spent that $44 billion on Twitter to get the email and the Slack communications because he has incriminating evidence on everyone who was involved in all of that. He knows what the government was saying. He knows he shut down a rampant, how do I say this in a way? There were very bad things happening over DM on Twitter having to do with trafficking kids. And he shut it down in
that's pretty awesome.
in 48 hours.
Wow.
But it was allowed to run rampant for years. That's like you don't hear that.
Just that right there is good enough for me, for him. Like,
he's
that's
Superman.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Superman.
So wait a minute, are you trying to tell me that he's a dude that has a lot of money and a guy that's in a little bit of power that's actually doing good and not just using it to fucking gain bullshit?
Yeah.
He's maybe out to help people.
And the way he has his money, his wealth is all primarily in stock. And so it's not like he goes and takes lavish vacations. He works all the time. I have a friend who works.
He ain't dicking around.
No,
we should try and get him on. Do you think you could get him on factOrFreestyle? That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Todd, get on that. Send Todd in there. Say, excuse me, Elon. He went to school in Philly. He went to school in Philly, right? He went to that school in Philly, right? I probably ran into him. When did he go? How old is he?
Ray.
Find out. Google Web.
He's younger than us. Yeah.
Google Web. Oh. When did he go to school? It was that Waldorf, something weird off school that all those. Yeah, that's him. That's where he went.
Ray,
Because my wife went to at Penn, and all the warden kids were walking around like their shit didn't stink. They're tough guys. I'm
Your
just
wife
kidding. I never saw any.
your wife went to UPenn?
She went to Virginia Tech and saw Mike Vick run up and down the field.
Wow.
And then after 4 years of that, she went to Penn for another 4 years.
Wow.
And that's where she met the world famous Raymond J. Schlickwig.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, she went there, and she was
Awesome.
living in West Philly. If you know anything about West Philly, my wife's from the streets, dude.
Born and raised on the playground.
Well, not born, but raised for yeah. West Philadelphia, born and raised. She was only raised for 4 years there.
Yeah.
But she only needed 4 years there to realize that West Philly is something.
Yeah, for sure.
It's quite a place.
Elon Musk went to Penn, and he got his bachelor's in physics and economics in 1997.
I was there.
Oh, so he's just a couple years older than us then. Yeah. I'm sorry,
No,
younger.
Yeah.
He's younger than us.
Yeah.
He started PayPal.
Wow. So he's the dude that started PayPal?
Yeah. And they were doing
Wow.
like a financial tech, and they had all these demos, and then as not like a goof, but just like hey, let's do something stupid and simple. They figured out how to send money using email, and they would do they were in this pitch meeting, and they went over all this other stuff, and they're like, do you have anything else? And he said, well, we got this thing that you can send money over email. And they're like, that's it. That's what we want. Go do that. And
Wow.
and he built it up, and there was a competitive solution. And like at the last minute, they ended up acquiring that other solution. Like, he has always figured it out at the last minute. And he just takes his gains from one and parlays it in the next. It's like he's spinning the roulette wheel, and it comes up green 0, and he puts it right back down on green 0.
Yeah, get Todd to call him and get him on the show. I think, Elon's got a little time, I'm sure. A little time to spare.
I'm certain that he would accept a media request from Delco Media.
Oh God, yeah.
God. Oh my God.
That's gonna be Ray's job. Put him on the payroll when he gets on. He's probably still driving home.
Yeah.
Put Ray on the payroll and get him to get Elon on the get him to get on the show here. Speaking of getting on the show, where's Jerry Severson? We got to find out his.
I was chatting with
story.
him a couple minutes ago, and he had like lost track of it, so he's on his way in.
Okay.
Is Ray Delco Media Ray? Is he from West Philadelphia, born and raised?
Yeah, he's from the Philly area. Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like anybody I know. Who's that?
Just say your name.
That's Jerry Severson right there. I recognize him. Jerry, what's up, homie? Raymond J.
Oh, hey there.
What's up? Look at there he goes.
Can you hear
Now
me?
you're talking. Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Gosh.
We can see you.
You know how funny it was that you brought this story up? I mean, how did you even remember?
Because I remember the important things, and I would get what you. Well, wait. First of all, before we get into anything, before the day you left to travel to California
Yes.
to work for Ron Wilkerson, where were you with whatever detail you're comfortable with? Where were you in your life that you were able or willing to drop everything and go work for your childhood hero for basically free? We'll find out if it was, but I figure it was for free, or you lost money probably going there and coming back and working.
Yeah,
What were
for
you
sure.
So what were you doing in your life? How old were you? Were you employed? Any type of family situation? Like, what did you leave behind to go to work for Ron Wilkerson for free?
Well, yeah, I mean, this was 2006, in the summer of
Oh man, that's
2006.
even later.
And
That's even later than I
lived,
thought.
yeah, this was, my whole life has been freestyle BMX. I mean, that's all it has been. It almost still is now. And even back then, I worked for, I lived in this town called Waseca. It's in Minnesota here. I didn't really have much going on. I was working for a cable company, dealing with the phones, answering calls. So
Okay.
I was kind of at the end of my rope right there. And for some reason, I think I seen some kind of opening, I got the letter right here, a sales associate opening at 2HIP.
Yes.
We're hiring a person as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I think I'm the one that brought it up. So, I was like, hey, what is this? And I was probably the only one that was interested in it, probably.
You may have been the only person that contacted Wilkerson to do this job.
Yeah. Gosh, I got some of the emails right here. It's like, what do you need, to live? What's your bottom line? Please let me know if you can pull off. It says $8.75 an hour for a 40-hour week. And, we'll do a 3-month trial. And I have a room at my house that will deduct $400 a month from your pay. I couldn't even read this without laughing.
You were gonna make less than $9 an hour to go move to California and live in Ron's house.
Yeah, and it says here it's a small room and it has an outside entrance. That's all it was an outside entrance. It wasn't even inside. It was like a pool room, a pool house. It was connected to his house, and it was dirty. This is where people stayed if they stayed over. There was like a little window still.
Was there heat or air conditioning in it?
Oh, it was nothing. It was hot. It was too hot during the day and it was freezing cold at night.
Was there a bathroom? Where was your bathroom? Where did you shower?
There was no shower or bathroom, no. I don't remember taking a shower the whole time I was there. Because I didn't really go it was connected to the side of his house. And I think I went in his house a couple times. And I just felt weird about going in there because I think he just got married.
How long were you there before you realized you made a mistake? This is going to be my favorite part. Okay, I'm guessing.
The dawning of awareness.
I'm guessing the moment you pulled up. But go ahead.
That was pretty much right. Because it was up this big. I drove there with this car. I can't believe I made it. Oh my God. I was stacked with clothes and I put my bike in there. I had dreams of like riding with Mike Dominguez and Dave Volker and hanging out with all these people. And I was way up in these mountains, this house, way up this hill, up this winding road. And I remember I pulled up and there was actually a house, but this shed right next to it. And that's where his offices were. He had a little table in there with a phone, and he stored all his bikes in there, all these bike boxes to the ceiling. So it's kind of like a storage shed. And that's where his offices were. I thought it was maybe going to be in a real office or something,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I pulled up, I remember walking up to his house. He came out and, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I'm here, and it was just kind of odd right off the bat,
Yeah.
It was like I didn't really right off the bat, it was just I felt a weird feeling like this is not what I thought.
Yeah.
I drove all the way out here. I was like, oh my God, I should have flown first. But I even asked him that.
Yeah.
I even asked him that in a letter, should I fly out first? And he's like, oh no, you don't have to worry about a car and all this stuff. And if you drive out, then you can leave and, go anywhere you want. Traffic and gas is if you come out here with your car. I could read these letters. I don't know. But, it sounded so good,
Joe wants
I
you to
wish I
read the
would've thought-
letters.
I
We-
can't
no, we
even
should
tell
have-
you how
we
much I want
We
you to
should
read
have
them.
Wilkerson read the letters.
I don't want to this is all, funny now, but boy,
Yeah. No,
I came out here thinking, I was at a major, I just thought this was going to be something great, and it just didn't, everything was bad. I don't think I even stayed at that place very much because I couldn't. I think I met some girl online before I went, just as a backup plan that lived around there.
There you go.
And I said, well, I didn't know her or nothing, but I said, I'm coming out there. She was like from Santa Cruz or something. And I remember, because I couldn't sleep in this place because it was so cold at night. I was just freezing at this little room that was connected to his house. And I remember it was just a little ledge with a cushion on it. It was just, dirty and it's never been cleaned, I was like, I'm used to at least living in a house in some kind of respectable place. I wasn't used to being like living like this, I guess. I just wasn't used to it. I don't know if these people that stayed with him before were, but I wasn't.
You were living like a zoo animal. Actually, zoo animals probably had a better setup. They had heat. And...
if I told
you were
all
living
this,
worse than...
I wasn't used to living like this, And I remember asking him, am I ever gonna be able to buy anything? Or he's just like, well, no, you could maybe live in a house with, some other people or something. Maybe you could find a room somewhere else, eventually. And I'm like, I had higher aspirations, I mean, I just, I thought this would be a job that paid me money and I'd be able to afford maybe a car, just normal stuff to live.
How old were you?
And it wasn't that at all, So the living conditions just weren't anything I could do, basically. And then
how old were you at the time?
Gosh, this was 2006, so I must have been in my early, around 40.
Oh man, so you weren't even like a kid. You were like
no.
Yeah, you were like
growing up.
Man.
Yeah, because 2006, that's what,
Please tell me you were 43
years
years old.
Yeah. So I'm 54 now. So it must have been when I was 30 or 39, 40.
Yeah.
I was growing up and, I just thought, hey, this is a change I needed, blah, blah, blah. This will get me back. Because I was still into freestyle. I've always been into freestyle. That's been my life. I follow it. I still ride. And I thought, hey, if I can get in with Too Hip, this is my end to go places and maybe do stuff. And I've been to Interbike before and all that. I thought, oh, this is cool, and I was pretty smart in a way. I mean, I knew my BMX anyways, but I thought this was a cool job. But but then eventually, we went to his little office, and then he made what his job was. What I could see is he made phone calls all day to bike shops and tried to either get people to buy their bikes, or if he had their bikes, he would ask them if they've sold any, and just make casual conversation, and that's what I was supposed to do. But I never got to the point where I even made a call, because he would do it during the day just for an hour or two. He never really worked a full day or whatever this was. I think he was just trying to sell bikes or something, oh, Ron Wilkinson's calling, I think that was mostly the appeal, Ron would call these shops and make small talk and ask them about bikes. And he's like, oh, this is what you got to do and what you got to say. And I mean, to this day, I don't know. I don't know anybody that's ever had a Too Hip bike or anything. So I don't know. Did he sell bikes, or I don't know. Was it anything that he made money at? I don't.
So how long were you there? How long did you, if you had to say, from the time you got there, from the time you left, how long was it?
Gosh, I would say it was probably 7 or 8 days.
Wow, that's longer than I thought. I would have been out of there the next day. That's pretty good. 7 days, that's.
I wanted to, but for some reason I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get there and just leave right away for some reason, because I don't know why, but like my days were spent like going down, I think it was the Santa Cruz like beach down there, where the pier is and all that. I had nowhere else to go. I couldn't like go in Ron's house and like, I think one of his daughters was there, and I think he just got married or something, or one of his future wives were there or something at that point.
Where was he expecting you if he was charging you $400 a month to live in that shed? Where was he planning for you to go to the bathroom and shower or brush your teeth? Did any of that come up when you got there? Like once you settled in, like in Forrest Gump when they say shake down your gear, boy, and get in there. Like after you shook down your gear, what was the conversation with Wilkerson? Like, well, where am I going to go to the bathroom? Where am I going to cook food? Where am I going to sleep? Like, did any of that come up?
Not really.
At what point did you realize that Ron Wilkerson was not only your childhood hero, but also very ill prepared to have somebody come on and work for him?
I mean, I assume there've been other people there, and they were in the same boat I was. They were there.
Why, they write help on the walls or something? They were marking on the walls how many days they've been there, like Tom Hanks in Lost, just etching how many days they've been there.
This room was just, I still remember, I took a picture of it once, and I don't know where the picture went because it was so bad. And I sent it to my friends. I go, look at this. I mean, it was a stained little mat. It wasn't even a mattress on this windowsill. And you opened it, it was just an outside little closet. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. That's where I slept. And that's where I did my backup, where this girl somehow I met on that whatever. Can I please? I don't even know who this person was, but she owned like a hair salon. And she let me sleep upstairs because I had nowhere else to go.
Was her name Angie? Her name wasn't Angie, was it?
I have no idea.
Probably.
Did she make you clean the floors? Hey,
no.
You clean the floor, you can sleep here.
And why? This is way back. Why would a lady let a guy from Minnesota come and stay at her in her, like, it was an upstairs loft. I remember I like slept on the floor on a mattress, and she slept in the other room. It's such a weird situation. I'm like, what's going on here? It was one of the weirdest weeks I've ever had, because I couldn't stay.
And you were by yourself too. Like,
I was by myself.
Too. Like if you had a buddy with you, you could at least like laugh it off and kind of figure out what to do. But like, you're on your own, man. Like,
it was
that was half of it.
Crazy.
That was the scary part. I just had this car. I'm like, this thing breaks down, I'm in big trouble. And I remember in the morning, I get up and drive back up to Ron's house, and just like, okay, we're gonna do this job, I guess. We'd sit there for a little bit, and he'd make these calls, and then all of a sudden we're done, and I had the rest of the day to do whatever. And he had a broken arm at the time in a motorcycle accident.
Of course,
so
he had a broken arm.
Yeah, I thought maybe I get to ride with Ron Wilkerson. We'll go to skate parks. We couldn't even do that because he had a broken arm from riding one of those motorcycles.
Just say you worked there 4 days. What did you do? You said you didn't make any phone calls because he made some phone calls. Like, what other jobs what did you do?
Sweeping the floor for 4 days?
There was no floor. There was rugs. I think it was a dirt floor even. It was rugs on the floor with a desk, a table in there. Then you go through this little doorway, and that's where he stored all his bikes. Like, he had bike boxes all the way to the Juliet bikes, all the way to the top of the floor.
Did you have to take any bikes to the UPS to send them out? Like, were there any orders that you had to fill?
No.
No.
So I don't know if sales were good at the time, but
apparently not.
That's the thing. I don't know. I was trying to put two and two together. Like, how does he make money? I don't know. Does he sell bikes? I don't know. I never really asked him how much he sold, or if he, how this all works.
So how So
what would it take for you to do it
to the
again?
No,
What
no,
would it
no.
take
Hold
for
on,
you to
hold
do
on, hold on. No, hold on. So at what point, or not at what point, when you decided, all right, I'm done here, what's the conversation with Ron? Where are you?
Oh yeah.
What time of the day is it? And what's the conversation? Hey, Ron, we got to talk.
Well,
Go ahead.
this was about after a week, and we were just kind of, we weren't getting along that great in a way. There's kind of these underlying little, like I remember one day we were driving in that 2-hip van, and I wanted to get something to eat. I was so hungry all the time because I didn't have anything to eat, and I couldn't afford to eat anywhere. So there was like a Taco Bell, or something, cheap burritos. And there was like another burrito place, a real burrito place, like across the street that was expensive. And I said, I can't afford to eat there. And he got mad at me because I wouldn't eat that at that. He got mad at me for eating at Taco Bell, I remember, because that was like not good enough food or something, or whatever, whatever they eat or whatever. I don't know. A vegetarian maybe or whatever. But I had to go. I couldn't afford to buy, pay $10 for a burrito when I could eat for like $3.
Yeah.
I had limited amount of money.
Yep.
I remember my mom gave me $1,000 before I left, just to help me out.
There you go.
Gas, food. I was thinking I'm gonna make money when I'm down there. But back to it was always weird cruising around. In this van, I'm not sure. We'd drive to a couple bike shops and it was just weird having him right there in the front seat with me, there was like no conversation. It instantly just dried up.
Hey, well,
what am I supposed to say?
How much have at this point, how many times or what conversations did you have with Ron before you drove there? Like, did you ever talk to him outside of that and like have any type of conversation with him before you moved there?
I think we actually talked on the phone once, but we emailed a lot. And he just, I just kept on confirming that it was going to be great and it would be a great, a move. And, it just sounded so great,
Do you think maybe he was hoping that maybe you were a dude that was going to get there, figure out what maybe he needed, and then make the company bigger and better? Like, was he thinking maybe something like that? Or do you think he was just like, hey, I got some dude that's going to come in here and just work in this shithole and maybe, bang out a couple bikes here and there? And like, what was Ron thinking?
I don't know. Maybe he just thought I was some guy that was, well, I was desperate in a way, but not, I wasn't used to those types of living conditions. But maybe he just thought I was just some guy that would just stick it out and help him out somehow, I guess. I just wasn't used to living like that, I guess.
So
I'm not
here's
sure
the big. Now here's the big.
I'm having flashbacks of me
question.
doing this actually.
So at any point, well, that's the thing I was going to say to Jerry. A lot of people have done exactly what he did.
I'm sure
it just happened to be with Wilkerson. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a lot of people in the world at any point in their lives, like what you did wasn't anything crazy, because there's nothing wrong with being somewhere in your life, and then you're just like, hey, you know what? I want to go try and do something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
yeah.
So there's really nothing about it that's bad. It's actually it's just another piece of your life story, which is just great. You know what I mean?
That's weird.
What point did when you were done? Oh wait, we still have to get back to when you said, "Hey Ron, I'm done." Like how that conversation was. But I'd also like to know is, was there any money? Was there any transaction of Ron handing you any money for being there for the week? Like, here you go. Oh wait, you stayed in my hut, so that's 400. Half of the 4, that's 100. You only made 2. Here's $71.12. Was there anything like that?
No. Mostly because after about a week, I wanted to leave sooner, but for some reason, I just didn't have the heart to say this isn't for me. So like one night, late at night. I wrote a note, kind of a long note saying
he wrote the Limburg letter. He wrote to the Limburg.
I wrote a note.
The
You know, saying
babies with me.
something, something to the effect of, I really appreciate, what you did and, the job. And I go, this, just isn't for me. And, you're still, I appreciate it. You're a great guy. Thanks for, letting me try this. But then I laid it on his table or something and left in the middle of the night.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. That's what I would have done. I actually probably wouldn't even have wrote a note. So that's pretty nice that you wrote a note. If we could find that note, make a T-shirt of it, Joe.
Oh gosh, that'd be so great if he kept it. That would be so great if he kept that note. But I just couldn't. I left in the middle of the night. That long drive home. I remember sleeping at truck stops. And
yeah. How happy were you when you got home? You were probably just like, oh man.
When I crossed the Minnesota, once in a while I still cross that Minnesota border where I drove across into Minnesota.
And you get emotional.
I just I've never been so happy to get back to Minnesota. And I'm never leaving again. Never leaving again. Oh. I realized I like it here and I'm going to stay here because I've been to California a couple times and I'm always so happy to get back home. I
love this story. This story is my favorite.
But there's
Todd,
so
are you
much,
still with us there? Todd, turn this.
I mean, there's another story. We actually, one of the days, there was actually a bike shop show that I went on with 2 other riders that were in the van.
Oh,
we had to, we went to a bike shop. God, it was 3 hours away. And they actually put on a show, at some bike shop, out in the middle of nowhere. And
what was your job during this? What was your job during this bike show?
Nothing. No, everybody's like, why is he here? Why am I here? I felt really stupid being there because I'm just some guy, and I had to go to this show and I felt so out of place and there was no one at the show and stuff. And and then there was a party or something after, after the bike show at the guy's house. I remember the X Games were on and I was watching, the X Games. I remember Chad Kagi was doing the big air ramp. I just say, look how cool that is, and blah, blah. And for some reason, I think that's when it wasn't cool to like it or something, when it first came out. Or, because I remember Ron was I was saying, look at that. I don't know, he just didn't seem to be into it. And then we drove, oh my God, there's Dave Norrie.
Dave Norrie!
What's up?
Dave, you just missed the greatest story ever.
Oh, gosh.
You're going to have to go back and listen to this. Dave, hold on a second.
It's being recorded.
Dave, I miss you so much, and I'm not even kidding. I absolutely 100% miss you like you wouldn't believe.
Well, Dave's probably, he probably knows the story already. He's,
that story's probably happened to him 6 times with Ron.
Yes.
Well, give me the short version.
Well, I worked for Ron for 2006. I went out there to try to work for him for about a week. I only made
Did an alien ship land, or is that Stony? I'm sorry.
What's up, y'all? Can you?
What's up there, Stony?
Yeah, you just came out of hyperspace.
Dave Norrie is in the room. What is up, Dave Norrie? Welcome back, brother.
Dave Norrie just ruined my vibe. Now we got him here. Now what are we going to talk about?
Oh, come on.
The exact same thing.
Well.
So wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jerry. Explain to Dave real quick what you were talking about. The story you just told.
Yeah, I drove out from Minnesota to work for Ron back in 2006 to go to Two Hip Bikes. See, he's laughing already. And it's everything you thought it was.
This is going.
Yeah, I only made it a week, but
okay.
It was quite the experience. Put it that way.
Well, that's something to be said for a week.
Yeah, I drove out there from Minnesota too. So I ended up leaving in the middle of the night. I didn't have the heart to tell him I couldn't take it anymore.
You ghosted Ron Wilkerson.
Yeah, I wrote him. I wrote him a note.
Jerry, do you know Josh? Do you know Josh Elliott?
I don't.
he lived the same experience that you did, except he flew.
Oh, nice.
And Ron picked him up at the airport, and he had his bike and all of his clothes. Ron picked him up on Ron's motorcycle.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how he began his experience. And I think he stayed for this. He stayed the whole summer tour, I believe.
Yeah,
did he?
I think so. Yeah. He's a better man for it.
Well,
So he
yeah,
really is. And by the way, the Duke did the same thing. So that's Ron's move.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is
To pick you up on a motorcycle.
Oh
It's
my
a
gosh.
training. I mean, it's an intensive training that you have for life.
It
I
is.
guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's purposeful.
Oh,
I'll
for
never
sure.
forget it. Yeah, I mean, that, and we actually went with him to a bike show, and then like we went back to some guy's house, and then we ended up driving home like at 2 or 3 in the morning. I mean, Ron was at the steering wheel. I remember just, I remember that group System of Down was just cranked. It was so loud. We're laying in the back, just and he's like, "This is nothing." I drove to New York and back without sleeping once. I remember he said that. Is that true? I mean,
Everything
back.
Ron says is
Absolutely.
true.
yeah.
Absolutely.
He drove all the way to New York without sleeping, and then like drove all the way back again without sleeping. So I mean, I don't put it past him. But that was just, we're laying in the back of the van in the middle of the night, that music just cranking. I remember that too. Gosh, it was just a week of my life, that, I just, Ron, he tries, he's great. He's still, my idol. He's great, but it was me. I'm the one that kind of brought it up. He had that ad, sales associates, and I answered it. And I went out there.
We have to run ads.
Dave, you've been to, maybe you were at his house at this time. He lived up in this hill, up these hills, in this house in the woods. He had a shed next.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that when he had the big half pipe in the back, not the Enchanted ramp, but the other half pipe.
When I was there, it was some small little town in the middle of nowhere. I remember he talked about putting a half pipe up when I was there. He had a broken arm when I was there.
It was in 2006 is when he might still live. Does he still live there? Maybe. How long has Ron lived there? Where he lives now?
No, he's in Santa Cruz now. So this is like, I think he's still down in the San Diego area. If it's 2006.
Okay, no, he lived by Santa Cruz when I was there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I remember I had to go down by the pier all the time because I had nowhere else to go and walk around by myself.
He had to go fight the seagulls for chicken wings.
I had nowhere else to go. When I was done with my job.
Seagulls for chicken wings. I have this image in my mind now.
A guy wearing a 2-hip shirt, slapping chicken out of a seagul's face.
I didn't even get a 2-hip shirt, I mean, yeah, I remember when I was in his shed where his computer was, where I was supposed to work. He had this photo album that had all these pictures in it from like when he did the BMX Action Trick Team, or no, the 2-hip Trick Team. Like behind the scenes, there was Oz. I was like, I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen this. But then, you know what the weird part is about this also? Like, I think it was 2009. There was a Rockford BMX gathering, and Ron was like the speaker guy. And I was scared to go actually, because I was like, oh my God, I want to see Ron. Is he gonna remember me? This is just a week.
Should have slipped him another note in his pocket.
This is just a week out of his life. I'm just some guy that entered his life for a week and left. And how is he going to remember me? And he actually did.
Oh yeah, you don't forget something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because he was there, and I'm like, I was going to have him sign this book, this freestyling book I got, and I think he recognized me first. I wasn't going to say anything. And I think he goes, Jerry. And we were like all good. I thought he was going to be mad or just kind of embarrassed or no. Like, I think he said, oh, that was all good. No big. Yeah, he was like, oh, that's all good. And they're like, oh, from then on, it's like, yeah. I was stoked, because he wasn't mad or didn't feel bad about it. because I was kind of scared to, talk to him, after a couple of years after it passed, that I left, but I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's a long
Those
drive.
things happen. Those things happen.
Jerry, you were probably one of 19 people that's been in that situation,
Oh yeah.
For real.
I mean, there was, I don't know why he needed help or what for, but this was in the middle of summer, so he was at home and he had a broken arm. I don't know what else he had to do or what was going on. I was hoping, he'd at least get to ride with him and stuff. He had his bike and he'd want to go riding, but that he couldn't even do that,
So were you looking to work or were you looking for the fan experience?
He was looking for a weekend at Norrie's, and it didn't turn out to be that way. That's where Dave got the business plan for that. He's like, wait a minute, this guy really just wanted to come out and ride. Let's get this done for real.
Dave, you can set up. You can have people make phone calls. They can be like the weekend at Norrie's where you guys get on the phones and start pitching the tours. That's the only difference is you didn't have a work program set up in there.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Seriously, I'm going to get.
I'm not kidding.
And I'm going to put a big screen. I'm going to put a big screen so people can, when we're doing a Zoom call or whatever live stream, that people will be able to see it. So
I have an idea.
Do that this next year.
So Stoney,
I love your ideas, Joe.
Check this out. One of the challenges that we have right now is that we don't have a full-time editor for the show, but I have a schoolhouse, and this just reminded me that I could probably get a full-time editor if they can, with the trade being they can live in the schoolhouse and they can just edit all day long.
Christ.
Wait, you have to do more.
Mark Eaton will do that for you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So all right. So if that's the deal. If you want to edit footy on the show, go back, do all sorts of stuff, and you need a house, you can live in the schoolhouse.
Wait, so if you're on the streets and you like BMX,
no. You have to have like a real dialed talent. You have to be a good video editor. You can't.
Interview Jerry. Look, Jerry's mouth's watering.
Jerry, are you looking for a
schoolhouse to live in?
Jerry, are you looking for a schoolhouse?
It's got a propane tank.
I think I learned my lesson.
Is there mice and Skittles?
From his email,
no more mice.
From his email, I will be the head of sales. There's a huge potential. We're getting more international distributors. And
wait, you're reading the actual email? Is that the actual email, Jerry?
Jerry, I can offer you.
Oh, Jerry kept everything.
Yeah,
Jerry, I can offer you a position of chief revenue officer.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Are you going to pay him $8.75 an hour, like Ron?
No, I'm not even going to pay any money. Commission and a free house.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Commission and a free house.
Okay. Do you have access to the space formerly known as the Terradome?
Oh yeah, and you can ride Flatland in the Terradome.
No, you rent that out for Jello wrestling on weekends. Oh gosh, turn that thing into a honky tonk bar.
Oh, nice. I mean,
that would be a great. Why am I not thinking about this? A honky tonk bar.
Yeah, a honky tonk bar. Are you kidding me? Jello wrestling on Saturday nights.
Jello wrestling.
You know what I mean?
And honky tonk bar.
I mean, I've moved on a little bit since then. I actually own a house now.
There you go.
Do you have any Jello wrestling experience though?
Oh my gosh. You're starting to talk me into it. I mean, when do I leave?
I think the second Ray has shown up.
Oh. Yes, sir.
There he is, Joe. There he is.
Ray.
The CEO of Delco Media.
So how are we going to refer to each other here? Like, because there's Ray and there's Ray. We're going to have to change our names or
Jack and
you
Ray.
can just call me Delco.
Delco.
We'll call him Delco Ray. Okay, Delco Ray.
There's so much going on.
Yeah,
Dave showed up. We have extra Rays. Catch me up. What happened? Like, what did I miss?
Here's what happened.
Dave's
Jerry's-
never leaving the show again. He's going to be on every one of them now.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, good. So Dave, welcome back. Jerry Severson worked
Welcome,
for,
Dave.
am I pronouncing your name properly?
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay. Jerry Severson worked for Ron Wilkerson for about a week, and Ray heard about the story, and he's like, you need to go find Jerry Severson. And I found him on Facebook, and I pitched him that this would be a great idea and a lot of fun. And it turns out to be right.
It's a great story.
Well, and the best part is he's got the actual email, Joe. I mean, he's
He's got
the email.
He's got the
And,
paper
like,
He
trail.
brought the receipts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got a bunch of them. He keeps stuff like that, you know.
Wait, hold off on the receipts. We got to keep going here. I got to
Yep.
get caught up.
Okay. And then sometime this week, I was talking to Frog Bars, and Frog Bars said, text Dave right now. And so I texted Dave, and we hugged and made up, and Ray and Dave's back. And then Ray, Delco Ray, okay, I took the money that I earned by selling this show to Eddie Fiola, and I took part of that and I made an investment in Delco Media, because according to sources, Delco Media is the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I found that out today.
Yes. Now, what happened, I think it was last week, we recorded the judges' commentary for the Down Underground contest, and the Duke played the role of James McGraw because James is so busy he can't show up.
Or Little Light.
And as we got to talking, I was pitching the Duke on great ideas for Delco Media. And then I was like, wait a second. And I started talking to the guys on the secret couch for it. And I'm like, I think I know what's going on with Delco Media. And Raybo goes, Delco Media wants to talk to me. And I'm like, this is perfect. And Stoney, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
This is like the perfect storm for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Like, don't tease me. Is this a one-time shot for Dave, or Dave, are you back?
No, Dave's back.
Joe,
Dave's back for real?
Yeah, Dave's on staff.
Are you back?
Yeah, Dave.
Outline that. Joe basically said, come on the show.
Stop. Dave.
I can come on.
Dave, Dave's on.
We would love it if you would be on the show. Oh
I'm so excited about this. This is the greatest.
You know what I'm going to offer?
I needed this
I'm just
today.
going to offer a bunch of kid stories about them getting on bikes and, you know, just the whole Potato Dome and how Weekend at Nori's just was a bomb. And the only thing that's working is...
You're not doing it, man?
Oh, no,
You're not doing Weekend at Nori's?
No,
I thought you were like booked. I thought people would be flocking to that, like Field of Dreams, dude.
No,
well, we got Delco Media.
Did it really slow down for real?
Yeah. No, it never really took off. But that might be part because I just didn't do enough for it. Maybe I wasn't as into it.
Or maybe that was just meant to happen to make you gravitate back towards factOrFreestyle.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been the same without you, Dave.
It hasn't been the same without you.
Right when you left, or right when I showed up, you left. So how can I not take that personal?
It was personal.
It kind of felt personal. Like, did I have something to do with Dave being out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The funniest thing that you said, Stoney, was when you had said that you felt like I called you when I was up in Albany doing that camp, and I was talking to you about media stuff and social media stuff. And then you got on the show and you said, I feel like Dave's like, I'm the second, like,
I'm the side piece.
Side piece.
Yeah.
Joe liked that.
I thought that was so funny because, yeah, Joe liked that part.
Ray didn't even laugh.
Joe didn't even laugh.
I haven't laughed at anything yet.
Ray, he's a tough crowd today.
I'm freaked out with Stoney. I feel like he's a pilot that got shot down in Iraq, and this is his video home to his mom to say, "Help me."
It kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
That haircut's freaking me out. That haircut's freaking me out.
I could throw a wig on. You want me to put a wig on?
Yeah, put
Yes.
a wig, do something.
Stony,
is
I mean, if you have one,
is that a
I need a
wrestling?
And
minute.
it says call the cops. His shirt says call the cops.
Oh,
it sure does say
nowhere.
call the-
Oh, lost my headphone. Nowhere BMX.
Oh,
Representing Carl and the boys.
Oh,
Yeah, but
you don't have
all
to
we
put a
can
wig
see-
on.
well,
I'm
for a while
just
we
being
could just
silly.
call the
I'm
cops.
just making a joke.
Yeah. Don't.
All right,
don't
so
put a
no wig.
No wig.
No wig.
All right.
We're good.
All right, New Ray, where'd you go?
I'm here.
Delco Ray.
you raised.
Delco Ray's right there.
Delco Ray. I
I'm here.
kind of manipulated the conversation for a second. Now I'm caught up. Back to you, buddy.
Is David an Olive
Todd's
Garden? Is David an Olive Garden? He ordered a water and he's like eating all kinds of stuff.
He's dripping ranch. Did anyone notice that?
Dave, Joe, I think Dave got a job on the weekends now. If Weekend at Northeast didn't fly, he got a job as an Olive Garden manager, and he's in the walk-in.
Hey,
He's in the walk-in.
And I'm on break. I'm on break right now.
Meal.
yeah,
I'm on break right now.
They have-
My manager's going to come over in a minute.
unlimited
Oh, we have to get-
breadsticks. Right?
And soup. And soup.
Oh,
I'm a dishwasher.
Wait,
I can see his name tag when he stands up.
Hey, he's serious. He's eating marble rye and everything.
Yeah.
Is
He
that a
ordered the
patty melt?
breadsticks. Oh my
It's a
god.
Reuben. It's a Reuben.
That's
It's a Reuben.
And sweet
We
potato
call it a
fries.
Castillo.
So,
Look at that. Living large.
so Dave, I read. I think I saw on the website that the tour has a stop in New York that's confirmed, right? And that's in. Is it?
We're working on
July.
We're working on permits. It's crazy. Like we tried applying for one permit and it was already filled up for all of June and July. We want to do it in
Okay.
June because that just makes us so upset. So what I can tell you and what I know is that June is New York. It might be Brooklyn Banks or it might be across the river on the other side.
Okay.
Those are the two that are kind of in the works. And then Germany, a little update there is Stefan wants to do a whole contest, which is really pretty cool because that will just be a big draw for the European crowd. And then we were going to do South Sea, but I think we're leaning more towards Harrow Park. So there's actually a park in London, and there's a bunch of riders that are very supportive of having us come to Harrow Park. And then somewhere in the Midwest, but we don't know where. I think
Buckeye Bike Show.
what about Minnesota?
the timing doesn't work though for it because it's too early in June. And he's going to have Ron come at some point, I think, and I don't know. So, I mean, Buckeye does make sense. Just the timing wasn't right.
What about
Buckeye
Minnesota?
has a great
Minnesota?
venue.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
I think,
Minnesota,
I think
eh?
we're thinking more like Indiana or Ohio.
I mean,
We're in Indiana.
what kind of places are you putting the shows on at? Is it anything to do with bike stuff, or is it like a ball, or is it a?
No, I mean it will be. I mean the one in New York is a park. It's Brooklyn Banks is just a riding spot, and then there's another like park.
Because we got like the Mall of America here, I know the GT shows there a bunch of times, and
I know, yeah, I know.
I'm sure they pay well.
Being there.
Oh yeah, I mean that something like that wouldn't work, or I mean.
No, it's not a matter of that it wouldn't work. It's just we're
Kind
just
of out of
trying
the
to
way?
minimize it. Yeah, like a lot of people are saying, come to Colorado, come to Arizona, and it's just realistically, it's hard to really. We're not going to do a 30 show tour. If that's what people are thinking, that's just not going to happen. But
all right.
I'm
Dave,
excited for it. I got it. Go ahead.
Sorry, do you need an intern to make calls to bike shops?
For what purpose? To try to book shows?
Yeah, so I have for you the CEO of Delco Media, who also needs content about a
I
comeback
thought you were
story.
gonna say me again.
Well, Jerry,
No one's hiring you for anything. You've already been run through the ringer, man.
Anytime somebody says you need someone to help,
You're a consultant. So Delco Media is going to film the entire story of how this tour is happening. because he
That would
needs
be
content and you need
Yeah.
editors. So, Ray Meyer, can you tell us what you, well, how do we do this? Raybo, do you tell us what you learned about Ray, or does Ray tell us what he learned about Raybo?
I think
Because
I don't know if you can handle what I've learned about Ray Meyer, Delco Media. So maybe he should just talk about me, because I like people talking about me. So
okay, Ray, talk about Raybo to the point that he cracks and tells us something about you.
I find him very interesting. I don't think I learned anything that you guys don't already know. We had a good lunch, I could tell you that.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite part of lunch.
How about the favorite part of the conversation that you had with Ray?
Just reminiscing on the old times and how much fun it was.
Ray,
You know?
Delco Ray, did you grow up in Philadelphia?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how far are you from King of Prussia?
So I'm 30 minutes, but I had no
Okay.
idea there was so much history there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like,
Yeah.
King of Prussia was such a hot point in the mid to late 80s with Gary and Ray and and then those Amish kids from York that that came over. I mean, it became such a hotbed. I mean, crazy magazine, writers would go and stay there. It was crazy. I just wondered if you had were familiar with that kind of.
Yeah, I'm learning more and more about the history. It's a shame I missed out because I was so close.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Well, what was the craziest story?
Yeah, craziest story.
We talked about a lot of stuff. I'm still infatuated when he put the smoke bomb on his bike during the AFA contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about stuff that we already covered on Factor Freestyle pretty much. Sure. He was just getting some insight on some of the stuff. I didn't give him any.
Delco Ray, did Raybo tell you about his neighbor, who sometimes we call him New Dave, and how he kind of keeps the planet spinning? And we saw him at the Buckeye Bike Show. Did he tell you about him at all?
Yeah, we didn't have. We only sat down for maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, okay. So we didn't have. I mean,
got it.
We would need like a big 5-hour road trip to hear some real the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now, believe it or not, even though we've done 1 billion Factor Freestyles, I still have more stories that I can tell. You know what I mean? I still have stories like this. Yeah.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Did Delco Ray, did he tell you about what he used to do when he worked at Burger King?
I want to hear.
Todd loves so that good. Story, don't you?
This is that. The best. Ray, please tell him, because please tell him.
You know what? I was just telling somebody this story too the other day. I forget. It might have been somebody at work, but we used to get we would get quarters and put them in the fryolators at like 400 degrees. We would just set them on this little ledge so they were in the grease, and they would just sit there all day and get like boiling hot. And then we'd take them out with the tongs, wipe the oil off, and then roll them into the dining room. And like, 75-year-old, World War II veteran would come by and be like, quarter, and he'd bend down to pick it up, and it'd be 400 degrees. And first you'd hear the yell, and then you'd hear it hit the ground or hit the wall. You'd hear, ow! Kink, 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 kink. So I think one time we had like $4 worth of quarters in the fryolator because we were just doing it so often. We'd like wipe it off, roll it out, wipe it off, roll it out. Like every 15 minutes we were doing it. You know, we needed a steady stream of customers to come in, and you know, and the thing is, it was funny every time. It wasn't like it never got old. It never got old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you could probably make $1 million
that's how we
off doing that now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like shoot video of it. And you're right.
Hey, so Delco Media, you can publish that story, send it to influencers, or hire kids at Burger King to do this. How do you think that would work out these days?
I think it would be very funny on social media. That's for sure.
And you know, Joe, we got the idea to do that from, there was a skit on Saturday Night Live where they would be at a diner, and this wasn't, it was a skit on the show, so it wasn't truly happening, but they would heat up a fork at a diner, and then when somebody's like, you know, like, oh, like they give them their cheesecake, and while they're giving them the cheesecake, there'd be a guy holding a fork over a flame, and they'd be like, excuse me, miss, can I have a fork, please? And then they'd put the fork down, and then the person would get the fork, and they'd put a 1,000-degree fork in their mouth. That's where I got the idea. Like, we were like, thought it was so funny, and I'm like, what do we have that we could do that? And we didn't have anything that we could heat up and hurt somebody with. And then we got the idea. Somebody, the manager, you know, was always just like, why is there all this change on the ground? How come everyone can't, you guys put the change in the drawer every 5 minutes? I'm bending down, picking up goddamn quarters. And we're just like, what if we, because I think the first kid tried putting a quarter in the microwave and it like blew up. And then we're like, no, we're like, just bury it deep in the fryolator and it'll heat up in there.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they have
That's how
plastic
that
forks
happened.
at Burger King, because that would have been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, oh, we would have done the fork in a second.
Oh gosh.
That's ruthless.
My favorite part of that story is that he blew up the microwave by putting it in the microwave, and the very next thing you guys said is, no, fry later.
Yeah. We didn't know.
George Clark told me this story that Zach, growing up, had a microwave that would work even if the door was open. And so what they would do is they would start it, then they would tell him to go over there, and his braces would spark. According to sources.
Yeah,
Wow.
that made my mouth hurt just thinking of that.
I know.
Oh.
But I think it was probably Joe Bellino. I don't think that Zach. I have a hard time thinking. Well, Zach. I think it was Bill. I think it was Joe Bellino.
I
Yeah.
I hope he didn't get that much radiation exposure at the job. That's awful.
I don't think. I mean, if you look at Zach right now, he doesn't seem like he was affected by radiation or anything.
No, you're right.
Stoney was.
Maybe, but maybe that was the advent of catfish. I mean, Zach was always a terror back in the day, but
Oh, it's like the Incredible Hulk and Spider.
it's like the Incredible Hulk.
Radioactive
That's what
spider.
happened.
So he's
I
an
have to
X-Men
ask-
now.
I have to ask Zach if that was true. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Hey,
How do you
Delco,
phrase
Ray,
it,
I'm curious.
Zach? Are you an X-Men?
Who do you ask that question?
Oh, what do you say to Zach? Are you an X-Men? Did the radiation hit you
Oh.
harder than anyone
Yeah.
else? or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Zach.
Microwave with the door open. I would imagine that's not healthy.
filming the show.
Like you would pee laser beams or something.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The microwave was invented by a guy who was using microwave waves, not knowing what they were doing, and he had a Hershey bar in his pocket, and the microwaves went through and they melted the chocolate in his pocket. He's like, "What? How did this happen? I'm just standing here and it just melted," and that's where they came up with the microwave for real.
Is that for
I know
real, Ray?
microwaves.
Is that
Yeah.
for
Google it, you'll see it.
You know microwaves, Ray, if anybody does.
Yeah, I do.
Dave with the wow, that was a singer, Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, Delco Ray, I'm curious about where you're going next, though, because you're all over the place, and I really commend you on that. So you'll
Thank
be at
you.
One Love, I'm assuming, right?
So I leave January 2nd. I'm driving across country to go to One Love, and then I'm going to hit some other spots on the way back.
Wow, that's great.
Wow,
Dave,
Yeah.
you and Delco Ray need to link up, man. You guys would be good for each other.
We have a little bit, but we need
That's
to
my
do more.
professional opinion.
I
Delco
appreciate
Ray,
that,
help me out with something.
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave. Finish.
Oh, I was just going to say, no, I appreciate that, Ray. And we have, and we just need to do more. We've already talked about it. We just need to make no excuses.
Yep, I'm down. Yep, sounds good.
So Delco Ray, we have a couple of working hypotheses that explain how it is that you could cover the Aloha Jam and then spend 3 weeks in Colorado Springs. How does that work with your lifestyle?
My lifestyle is dedicated to Flatland right now. That's it, man.
This is remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you realize that's all he does? Is he just travels and covers events? And
Yes, that's exactly what I've noticed, and
does
that's what I'm like.
say, yeah.
How is that even possible?
That's living the dream.
I'm planning on Europe too, man. Europe probably late July or August for a while. So stoked about that.
Tell me the origin
That's
story
awesome.
of Delco Media. So you were you a broadcast guy, or did you get a home study course on how to live this lifestyle?
So I did go to broadcasting school for a little while. I was a DJ for a long time. And once the social media kind of came in and I started learning video, it just kind of happened.
That explains things. Are you a military guy?
I am not.
Any type of law enforcement or bodyguarding?
Nope.
All right.
Trying to
So
figure me out, man.
I am trying to figure you out. This is a total mystery to me. So
Well, wait, why do you think he has law enforcement or bodyguarding or military? Why is that?
He's
All right.
feeling him out. He's
thing
feeling
or
out his
something?
superpowers, I think.
Yeah.
There's a very strange superpower in there, and he's got a sense of humor. And if you watch him do infinity rolls, they're very precisely executed.
Thank you.
And I don't see that.
He has discipline, is what you're saying. He's disciplined, like a thing. Yeah.
There's something going on there, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
He's a planner too. You hear that? Like he's already got his January tour set. He's got his European dates in
summer
place.
tour. Yeah.
I mean, this dude's a planner, and we don't even have a full picture of what 2024 is going to look like yet. He's already got his trips planned. That's pretty awesome.
I am so glad that I made my investment in Delco Media. This is going to make me very wealthy.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Ray is a bankable chief executive officer.
Thank you, man. I definitely take it serious, man. I'm having a blast doing it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, tell us a story. Like, tell us a fun story, like when you roll up to the skate park or something. Because I know you go to like just random places, riding spots, and you start filming kids or just the locals. Like, do you have a good story about one of those experiences that was either, I don't know, funny or touching or ridiculous or whatever?
Nothing. Yeah, there was one in Delaware. I came to the skate park in Delaware, and there was one rider really just ripping it. And I came up to him and asked him if I get some footage. He was like, "No, I don't want anything on social media." No. I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Kind of took me back. He's the first guy that ever said he didn't want to be videoed. So weird.
Who was it?
I don't know. He was a local guy to Wilmington. The Duke knows him. But the dude said, I've been on hiatus for a while from social media, and I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. Kind of weird. It was very weird.
Well,
his name was Dennis McCoy.
Speaking of Flatland, I live by Trevor Meyer up here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Awesome.
I was over there a while ago, and he's still, innovating. He's he's not doing the same tricks, all the time. He's still.
Oh, dude, yeah, Trevor's one of the best riders ever. Honestly, he can do everything. He can absolutely do every style, every side of the bike, both wheels, different feet. Spin, roll. Scuff.
Oh yeah.
Brakes, no brakes, everything.
Fixie.
Yeah, exactly. Fixie.
He's a great guy. Yeah, he's riding. It just blows your mind when you see him live in person.
Joe and I always have this thing. We when we see like a really bad like spot to ride, we'll be like, dude, that's a Trevor Meyer bombed out parking lot where Trevor would be like just pulling all of his, not just show combos, but like contest combos. We just have this theory that he can ride anything and anywhere.
Yep.
Because we've seen him do it before.
And he's been through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look at Raybo.
Great guy.
Why did I freeze? Why did I freeze? What happened?
I don't know. Were you checking your text messages?
No, I didn't do anything. I took my hat off and was rubbing my head.
I was hoping that maybe it would freeze when you were yawning.
I thought you were going to rub Stoney's head.
It's a static electricity.
Yeah.
Should I just leave it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
is
this mostly about Flatland usually then, or is like
no? We
cover
early
BMX?
We cover pro wrestling as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because
Flatland Pro Wrestling, and now that Dave's back, making fun of Dave.
I mean,
look how sad he looked. Come on, Dave, I'm kidding.
Nope, he's not. Ray said he's
sad.
not going to do it. Ray said he's not going to make fun of Dave.
Because, like I mentioned earlier, back in 1986, we had the very first two-hip half-pipe contest here in Minnesota.
Oh,
right. That's right.
In this town called Le Sueur, and it was in this shed. It was freeze. It was like 0 degrees outside. And I have the only I taped it. I got the best spot, bottom of the ramp. I got it perfect, and nobody's ever seen it. So
do you want to do that thing?
Wow.
I don't really want to put on YouTube because everybody's just going to copy it. I mean,
there's your guy, your guy right there, Delco Media. He's your distribution guy.
Right, but here's the thing: you said that you would like to watch us watch it, and then I have to cut it out. Would you like to do that right now? Do you want to go ahead and share it and then play it with sound so that we can watch it? Or do you want to do that later?
I don't have it right now.
Oh,
I do have it on a thumb drive thing or whatever. I can put it in the computer and stuff, but I just didn't want it. I mean, it's just because I remember 10, 15 years ago, I wanted to do a documentary and actually get the riders that were in it to comment on what happened. And,
that'd be cool.
And, because this was like the craziest, where it was, and it was freezing cold, Randy Tishman, Josh White.
Yeah.
Freestyle was there, Lou, and all these people were in the middle. This was nowhere. It got moved at the last minute from like Minneapolis to this little town over an hour away. And they moved the half pipe.
Because
I guess an indoor skate park lost their
that's
lease or something.
Yeah.
And
it was last minute. And they they just had to scramble and found a barn, right?
Yeah, and it was so far away, over about an hour and a half away, and it's in this town with nothing. And it was in this tin shed. I mean, of all places to have a contest in the middle of winter, it was just freezing in there,
Yeah.
And
how big was the half pipe? Was it like the full half pipe that most of the two-hip contests had?
Back in '86, it was about as big as you can get. Yeah, probably about 10 feet high. Not much flat bottom. Had a little channel in it.
I remember seeing Wilkerson do the rafter plant.
Oh, I got that on video.
Yeah,
I got him practicing it.
It's kind of awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Jerry, why are you worried about people playing it?
I don't know. It's just something I taped, and
Oh, just throw a watermark on
it. Just I don't know. I feel like there's so much content on there.
I know.
Do whatever you want to do with it, and just have fun with it.
I always had the thought of that.
Copy it.
I wanted to do maybe. I remember asking Mark Eaton probably 15 years ago, hey, can you get these people together and just get some comments about it? We'll edit it all together. I mean, it's such a good videotape of the contest. I mean,
You could still do that even if you release it, though. I mean,
Wait a
Yeah,
second.
and do it here, Joe. Do it here. That makes
yeah,
total
totally.
sense.
Hey,
totally.
Joe.
So
Joe,
Jerry,
Josh
are you
White
feeling,
and-
Joe, are you feeling it? Are you feeling
I
what
am.
I'm feeling?
I'm
I
totally
think Jerry's
feeling
gonna. I think Jerry's gonna wind up living at the schoolhouse, being your editor.
it.
He's got a whole
If
project.
he
for
does,
the
I'm
next
gonna send
2
him. I'm
years.
gonna send him a pizza every night. I'm gonna send him a pizza so he doesn't starve.
So
please,
Jerry,
yeah, please do. I'll
So
need
he's
it. I
got
think.
food and board. Food and
so
Yeah.
Jerry,
You know.
so Jerry, if you needed, it sounded to me like you were trying to assemble a production staff for a documentary about a very
Well,
important piece of
It would be so
history.
cool to get like Mike Dominguez and Wilkerson, Josh White, you know,
Oh,
their
it would.
thoughts
Yep.
about this day
Yep.
and what happened and why it was.
Yep.
It was just,
Yeah.
you know, what they were thinking. Minnesota of all places.
So
And-
I'm thinking there's a couple things that you need. Sorry, go ahead, Todd.
No, just hold that thought for a second, Joe. I was just going to say, Jerry, like in this day and age that we live in, you could literally get all of them like in the same day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then be able to just record it and then edit it together. So that in 10 years ago, that would have been a huge ask because
Yeah.
then you have to travel to wherever, but it's not like that anymore. So
For sure.
that dream is closer to reality than you may even think.
So Jerry,
And
I
you
want
could
to
go back to the barn. You can go. I'm sorry, Joe. Just an idea I
go
want to
back
share.
to the
You
barn.
can go back to the barn and like dig through the stuff as if you
Oh, that'd be
discovered
awesome.
this,
That'd be
right?
awesome.
And you're like, oh, remember this time? This was the first two, because that was so monumental. I mean,
Yeah.
Wilkerson, took it to a different level, and that was the beginning. And like
Yeah.
the whole story about it moving, I remember it, and but knowing the details, it's like the
Yeah.
undiscovering, and then it's like you get the writers to react on watching it, and they're going to
So wait,
remember. Oh yeah,
Am I?
Yeah,
I think
that's
I
what I'm
missed
talking
something
about.
here. But do you have the first two hip on video? Is that
Yeah.
what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
I rented a
Holy
camera.
shit.
I rented a
Holy
camera
shit.
and taped it that day.
Oh my
And,
God! You
and it's
Yeah.
proper footage.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would
Oh, it's perfect. It's
die. I
perfect,
would die.
yeah.
I would die to see
Because
that.
all we've ever seen is this photos
Yeah.
from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so like I don't even know
Yeah.
what the place looks like from the outside, or I have no idea. I've always heard, I read the articles that it was a barn, but I mean you
Yeah.
could tell that story like here it is today. Literally look, there's no insulation. Here are the bare rafters.
You're looking around,
Yeah.
and on the ground, you find an ODI grip,
Yeah.
just
No,
kind
man,
of
no, just-
peeking out from under the dirt, and you
Just the
extract
end of the
it.
grip.
Yeah.
Just the end of the
The
grip,
end of the
and
grip.
then you like take the brush and
Yeah.
all the archaeological
Yeah.
stuff, and you
It'd
find
be like
this.
it'd be
And
like
then you
when
ask-
Agroman found the necklace.
Like when
he found the
Agroman
shrimp
found the
rock.
necklace,
Yeah, I just think
Yeah,
people would
exactly.
love this. And
and then
I
you go
got
back in
Randy
time.
Tishman. Like Randy Tishman was there. He didn't really
Yeah.
seem to care about the contest too much. He was just there. But he was on Kuahara, and I got him in the back, doing some flatland and stuff. And it's kind of
You
cool
gotta-
to see that.
Get that.
This
You
is so
gotta
Gotta
good.
do this, Jerry. You gotta do this.
So Jerry, I've put together a crew of people. Once you told me what you had, I put together a
Yeah.
crew of people. Todd Carter is about to be nominated for an Oscar because of the documentary he did about doctors separating conjoined twins at the brain. And so
Is this real or what are you talking
no, this is real. This is real.
Okay.
This is Todd.
Yeah.
Stoney is Stoney has been making these amazing zany documentary story things. Okay. Ray Myers is the CEO of Delco Media, which according to sources is the future. Dave Norrie has a Rolodex that will get you anyone you want in a day.
Yeah.
And Raybo
It-
is dying to see this.
Well, then
So
that sounds like it would be an easy
You have
thing just to
everything.
put together.
Yeah.
yes.
Because the contest is like 30 minutes long. I got it from beginning to end. And I got a little bit of practice. I got when Wilkerson did his first foot plant. I got
That's awesome.
Dominguez rolling in and his handlebars turn sideways. He just face plants into the ramp and his visor falls off and he's like, oh, he's wearing sweatpants and stuff.
Because he never tightens his handlebars.
Yeah, they went sideways when he rolled in. And then
like a stock bike right out of the box or something.
You know, Jerry, Dave has Josh's number. Dave has Mike's number. Dave could connect with them in like 2 minutes.
In a heartbeat, they would be.
And I know they'd love to see this video and they would love to talk about it too, because I know they remember it, of course. I mean, you don't forget
yeah, for sure.
Because they had to travel all the way from California to freezing cold Minnesota just to ride in this middle of nowhere barn.
Yeah.
You know, it was so cold in there. It was like below zero. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
1986. And it was just an amazing day. That I remember they were there the day before, I guess, handing flyers out at the local school. You know, this town had nobody knew what was going on, you know. Can you imagine Wilkerson coming to your school and handing out flyers to kids that don't even know what BMX freestyle is, you know? But, you know, it got some people there, I guess. There's a decent crowd.
There's a photo that Ron has in his office, and I'm pretty sure it's this contest, but there's like hundreds of kids all wearing two hip shirts at the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah.
And like, so Ron did a great job of getting, you know, doing the marketing side of that. I'm not sure if it was the first contest, but you know, he had that, you know, ability. And
that may have been Toronto or where Hoffman did the 900. I was there and they had like, he handed out like 100 shirts and they all got on the ramp and took a picture, and then he made them give the shirts back. We all thought we were getting free shirts, and we all had to get the shirts back. Yeah. I remember it because I remember
the shirts back.
Mark Lumen and I were told by Wilkerson, here, give everybody a shirt. We're going to take a photo. It's going to be in a two hip, because there's a two hip ad where it's like black and white, and everybody's like, yeah. And so
I don't want to hear
everybody got a shirt.
Ray, please don't tell these stories anymore, man.
That's funny.
No, but I remember Ron running around like, and he didn't know who bought a shirt and who didn't buy a shirt because he was selling shirts.
He's asking him for him back.
Yeah.
Show the receipt. Let me see your receipt, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I remember giving it back, going like, "Oh man, I want to keep this shirt." So, but
that's a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, you know, back to that two hip thing. Yeah, if anybody can make it happen, I'll donate my video. But it's such a great video and it's such a great timepiece of what all happened, you know. And
I think if you put that out there, and I don't even think you got to edit that video. I just think you just put it out there.
That's exactly what I was saying.
I think it'll break the internet in the BMX world without a doubt.
It's good from beginning to end. I don't know why I didn't become like a video. I videotaped it perfect. It's great. And
Hey Stoney, do you have an account on Amazon Prime for being a video publisher?
I don't.
Do you know how to do that?
I can look into it.
That would be dope, because what you could do is get that onto Amazon Prime.
I would pay $10 to watch it right now without a doubt.
Like $10.
No, seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
I would figure out before you do anything, put it up there. So put it up on something so you can I would pay $10 to watch that without a doubt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
Or you could just get that footage and do a documentary, the first two hip contest. You know, it'd be the same thing.
Contest.
You know, and you can and do what he was talking about, what Jerry was saying, where you interview everybody. You know, find whoever and be like, this. You know, interview Wilkerson, interview whoever was there.
Yeah, Mike Dominguez and Josh White and Randy Tishman. I don't know, but you know. Just to have, you know, what they thought and, you know, everything about the contest, whatever they can say would add to the video so much. I mean,
was there like who were the amateur riders? Who were the amateur riders?
Oh gosh, I only have I didn't really have much of that, but Kurt Schmidt, I got just like a few seconds of him.
Okay.
540. But you know, Marty Schlesinger, he was there.
Okay.
And for some reason, I had it on a different videotape, but the night before, I was on the deck videotape, and he didn't air, and he hooked, and he broke like his collarbone or something.
Oh,
So he was out, but he would have done really good at that contest, and he could have entered pro almost at that point.
Oh,
Yeah, he
wow.
just got his wheel, boom. Yeah, he just went to flat.
Ray, you could have coffee with them and ask them questions, have them tell you the stories. Like watch the video ahead of time.
Watch the video, and
then
ask
you
them,
guys
hey,
plan
what
the
were you doing here?
questions.
Yeah, pay the $10 and do your research, and then watch everything, and then take clip notes. And then
But this video, it's
question.
that good. This video is that good, and it's just
How much footage do you have? Like, is it an hour, 2 hours?
it's
30
only
minutes?
I think it's about 30 to 40 minutes. I got the whole contest beginning and end, and then I got some practice at the beginning, and then Randy Tishman on the side doing Flatland.
How many pros were there? Do you remember the number?
Just 4. Yeah, Randy Tishman. Yeah, Mike Dominguez.
Okay.
Josh White.
That's easy to get that group. Okay.
And Josh White, I mean, my God, he was Josh White was just he did every variation. He was just amazing.
Gary, Dave lives in Josh's hometown. That's where Dave
Not
lives.
anymore. Not anymore. No, he moved to
Thailand.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He said he'll be back in a year if he can't make his YouTube channel work on basically.
See you in a year. We'll see you in a year, Josh.
Yeah, we'll see.
We can still get a hold of him, right?
Dave can.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he
doing?
doing?
You can message him through Instagram.
Okay.
It's like he's a fighter or something over there. He's a cage fighter.
Reply to you, Dave.
Well, I don't think he's doing that. He's trying to do like a video channel on YouTube all about Thailand and girls. Basically, that's his. Yeah, I don't know how it's going, but I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Seriously, that's what he wants to do.
We're all dubious.
He wants to find a way. He wants to find a way.
Okay. Well, yeah, just keep in mind though about the video. I'm really like, it needs to be out there, and it's so good that that it just needs to be done in a different way instead of just throwing it on there. I mean,
I know a guy who can do things in a different way.
I think so.
His name is Stoney McGee,
Yeah.
and he's a staff writer for factOrFreestyle, and I know somebody who's I think is about to be announced as being nominated for a movie trophy for a documentary film, and that's Todd Carter. And I also know a CEO of a media company that is the future. So this is Delco Media presents.
Yeah.
We got to just come up with a name, give it a spirit, and then what's the name of this?
Ray, you always good at coming up with names.
Yeah.
Got to come on.
I don't know if you can say anything with too hip, right? Or how does that work? I mean,
you could.
Ron
you could say whatever you want.
Gary, you and Ron are tight.
What's Ron going to do? Yeah, I'm going to do.
Ron's got a tour to book.
Of course,
this is going to work.
Gary, you may technically still owe Ron $400 though. I don't know.
400.
Well,
yeah.
So what about interest, huh?
Yeah. Right. Oh, I didn't think about that.
The juice is running.
Inflation.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I know he'd be stoked to see it too, and because I mean, why not? This is when they're all in their prime, 1986. This is just
the birth of Big Air.
Yeah,
hey,
first
guys,
half pipe, the first real BMX half pipe contest is what it was.
Yeah,
I mean, to a certain extent.
I gotta hit this.
Safe travels, Dave.
Head down to San Diego. But thanks for having me on, and I'll try to make it to other shows if you invite me.
Dave, I'm happy to see you back. I am so happy to see you back.
I'm adding Dave to Secret Couch for it right now.
Well, Dave, it was nice meeting you and getting to talk to you again.
Yeah, nice to meet you, and I'm excited about that.
Dave, don't ever leave again.
All right, Dave.
Dave, don't ever leave again.
Good talk.
Don't ever leave again, Dave.
I'm leaving in
Don't
about
ever leave
60
again.
seconds, Ray.
Please don't be out. Please don't be out.
We'll see you again, Dave. I love you. You're my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
I mean
I'll
that.
see whoever's at One Love. That's my next, I guess, trip is One Love.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Welcome back, Nori.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
He had to go back to the Olive Garden. I knew he was on his break.
Did anyone else notice that he had the 1980s Pizza Hut Pepsi glass that he was drinking out of?
No.
He's at the airport, Stoney.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
They don't.
Maybe
They have all plastic everything.
I was impressed for a second. I'm like, oh wow.
So wait,
Dave's
where
kicking it old
was
school.
Dave calling from? Was Dave really at the airport?
Yeah, he was at the airport.
Where was he going?
He's
Said
going.
San Diego.
Yeah, he's gonna
So-
ride at Hammond's.
So is Weekend at Nori seriously didn't work out? I thought he was like booked for like 2
here's the
years.
thing. Let's be really clear. The first 1, 2, or 3 ideas never work out. You have to just keep
That's true.
tweaking them. And so, Ray, you know about like how our first line of coffee was an utter disaster. But
Yeah.
then we pivoted the company to being a sticker company. And that's when success just skyrocketed.
Sales are through the roof.
Sales are through the
Skyrocketed.
roof.
Well, look
Yeah.
at me. I did Jack and Ray BMX. I did
Uh-huh.
Arctic Media, and now I'm doing Delco Media.
Yeah.
Look at
Finally
that.
getting some success.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You have
time.
to
Deal.
tweak.
Your pivot. Yeah, when you know how to pivot,
Yeah.
difference.
Stoney is on like his 4th successful career. Stoney was a pro wrestler.
I'm a
Yeah,
Stony
wait
of
a
many hats.
Stoney of many hats. So wait a second.
Wow.
What went from
Put one on now.
wrestling to filmmaking or content making? Like, were you always a video guy?
No, I was, well, when I was working for Billy Corgan, that we were filming a reality show, and that's how I learned how to put stories together on video. I pay attention to stuff. And then at some point I was like, I could totally do this. So I taught myself how to edit and bought all the equipment, and here we are.
Wow.
And now you're on the production staff of.
Now I'm on the production staff of factOrFreestyle.
And what's the name of this? The what did you call it, Steve or Jerry? What did you call the name of the? What's the working title for the documentary that we're working on right now?
Gosh, I'll have to really think about it, I guess. I mean, but it should be something, with 2 hip in it, I assume, and then
New hip.
something
You
to
guys
do
will
with.
have a new hip.
Yeah, it has to be a good title. Yeah, I don't know, but we can think of something. But I'm glad you guys are actually thinking about this, and because I've been trying to do this for, God, forever.
Oh man, that people want to. Well, I would love to see that contest. So
Oh yeah,
it's amazing that you have that.
yeah. It's. I converted it to digital. God, probably 5 years ago. I was afraid. That video was from 1986. If I would have lost that,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yep.
It still worked perfect though, so it's saved. But
This is so good.
it just needs to be out there in a decent way. I think just having some of the riders comment would just mean everything, and just the beginning and end.
Can you imagine debuting this on Amazon Prime Video? Like, because people just imagine being a person who doesn't watch this show, who signs on to Amazon Prime Video one day and just on a hunch types BMX or Wilkerson or 2 Hip and comes across this, like just the I Ching of it all, like just
yeah.
at random. What would that be like if you were to see that? And those moments are going to be able to happen from now forever. There's going to be some kid.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that it's so old, you can tell it looks a little, old, and the way they're riding, and the rafter plants, that's just crazy. I mean, the crowd just going nuts, you know, and you got Mike Dominguez. I mean, he just won the contest, I think, mostly just by doing the highest airs. And he disappeared, you know, into the rafters and come back down. I mean, it's so, I've never seen anything like it since, you know.
Oh, let me ask you a question about this contest. And this is something that I forgot, but this is something that I think the kids are going to be asking about. Was there Resi?
Well, no, what do you mean?
Oh, this is BMX before Resi.
Oh God. Well, of course.
Maybe that's the title, BMX before Resi.
Yeah. It's got BMX in the title, you know. Yeah. Radical BMX before Resi. Yeah, I mean, it's just so good though. So I don't know. It's gonna take some time, but as long as you guys know about it, and I mean, it just takes a second for me to send it over, you know, and
You're in very this is going to be so awesome. It's going to be shockingly awesome.
Because I don't know who wouldn't want to see it. Or if, you know, I showed it to my son one time and he's just like, what are these guys doing? You know, it's like, and when they do the rafters, like, oh my God, you know, it's like, it's just, you know, I don't see anybody not getting stoked on it.
Yeah.
And plus all the, you know, from 86, November 8th, 1986 it was.
We can get a psychologist. We can get Dax, okay? Anyone who's not stoked on this footage gets a free referral and triage from Dax.
Yeah.
So if you watch that and you're not stoked on it, you get a coupon to see Dax as a psychiatrist, and he will figure out what the hell is wrong with you.
Yeah. It's even got the sticker toss after the contest, you know, kids throwing, everybody's you know, same picture exactly in, you know, BMX Plus. He's up there snapping the photo. I got that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, it was in all the magazines. You know, it's just, you guys got to see it. That's all I got to say.
Oh my goodness. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, this idea of who wouldn't want to see this, like who would not get stoked on this? If you don't get stoked on this, we'll give you a coupon to a psychologist who will diagnose you.
Yeah, maybe the title should be who's not stoked, or
who could not be stoked.
Yeah, maybe
who's
that.
Unstokable.
Who could not be stoked on this? You know, something to that effect. I mean, you know, just something that kind of draws you in a little bit and kind of gives you a little, you know. But yeah, you guys, you just got to see. I'm trying to think of some of the highlights. You know, Randy Tishman doesn't air in practice. You know, it had a channel that didn't have anything in it. It was totally bare, you know. His back wheel lands in it and he face plants to the bottom.
What?
I remember that.
It didn't have a roll in. It was just a hole. It was just a channel, like a hole. It was just, it was just a hazard. It was like a sand trap on a golf course.
Yeah, somebody didn't want to put that in, I guess. and Randy Tishman paid the price. I'll tell you that. He fell in. So that's one of the things. Yeah, and gosh, it just, you know, just keeps going. Just gets better and better. You know, everybody's run. They just go right in. They go right in. They just keep the contest going, and yeah, it's just great. So
when we debut this, the premiere, I just want to fix a camera on Ron. We'll mic Ron and put a camera on Ron and just like watch his reaction to it.
Oh gosh, I mean, just to see his, you know, get his comments and what he thought and what he all put into doing this would be interesting, all behind, you know, behind the scenes. Because I mean, where you go from Minneapolis or, you know, up in the cities here to this town that's way far away in this little shed, it seems like moving that half pipe would be more than it's worth. You know, you think, let's just
hold on a second. That was my other question. They moved the half pipe.
Oh yeah, it was in this big warehouse in the cities in Minneapolis. It's this huge half pipe. They must have took it all apart. From what Kurt Schmidt, yeah, he's another guy you could get to comment on this because he was in the contest and he's still around and loves BMX. And I think he said they rented a semi or a tractor, a trailer, and they took it all apart and had to make a few trips to move the half pipe. I mean, all the effort put into just putting on this contest is, I don't even know the half of it, I don't think. So that might even add to it a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, so Jack and Ray, or Delco Ray, we got we got to add some production quality to this, and we'll cut some type of a deal whereby he gets some type of attention that he wants, but he's got to give that up.
Would you be willing to write the cease and desist? Because I know you love those.
I would.
I just got one.
Stoney, cease and desist. Yes.
How did you not think of that first, of all people?
Hey, Stoney, ask Delco Ray what he got in the email.
I got
the other
one.
day.
I got my first.
I mean, I don't see why you'd have a problem taking it down. I mean, it's just, I mean, how long has it been up there? Probably for 4 or 5 years. I mean,
3 years, it says, yeah.
3? Okay.
Wait, what am I asking, Delco Ray?
You're asking Delco Ray about his cease and desist letter.
Delco Ray, tell the story of the cease and desist and how it
I have
happened.
all ears. I love a good cease and desist story.
So I got permission to repost some footage, which I did, but in an effort to get it up there quick that day, I forgot to tag the original owners. So therefore, I received a cease and desist letter to halt on that project immediately.
Was it
Wait a
Bob
second.
Harrow?
Hold on a second. I think what you got was to cease and desist, not tagging.
Yes,
You can keep running with the project. All you have to do is add the tags.
I will.
Okay, good. And I encouraged him to frame it.
Oh, it will. Bill, hang up in the wall behind me one of these days.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
good.
Uh-huh.
No,
All right, so we got to write a cease and desist.
No, he's a super cool dude. I don't see him having a problem with it.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah,
it's funnier to have a cease and desist. It always, here's the thing, the pettier the infraction, the funnier the cease and desist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I don't know why he would either. I mean, it's my thing that he just copied from me. You know, if we're gonna do something with it, I mean, it'd just be better if, you know, he should be like, oh, no big deal. I mean, why would he care if it's up or not? You know, if it's gonna be released
super
again.
Cool guy. Yeah,
Yeah, I assume he is. Yeah,
super cool guy.
So, yeah, because he's got a lot of great stuff up there. I'll tell you that. I go on there.
Ray, this show is so good.
It's the comeback show, right? This is the big
comeback
Dave
show.
Oh, we
back.
should have did a new intro when Dave was here.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got to reshoot this anyway, Stoney. I lost my drive, my primary external drive with all the show footy is in a very bad state, and I have to take it to be professionally like data recovered. So I don't have any of the intro stuff.
I might.
Like if you could do that, that would be great. And we can use like the Chad next level intro. But yeah, if you could cut me that would be super helpful.
Gotcha. I will make that happen.
So Jerry, what we talk about is BMX, pro wrestling, and basically all of the backstage stuff that we do. It's like a giant green room.
Oh, okay. I just missed out on tickets here for we're having a wrestling here tomorrow, SmackDown. My friend, whatever, gave them away before so yeah.
You're okay. You just fall asleep anyway.
Yeah. It's a non-televised event, he said. So it's on a Sunday night.
So that means all the bigger names will not be there. You don't
Probably
have to go.
not. Yeah.
No, that's called a house show.
Anyway. Yeah. It's always fun to go.
What is a house show?
Yeah.
Tell me about
you
a
know
house
how they
show.
have pay-per-views once a month?
Yep.
Basically, they take that whole show and they tour it around the country and do the exact same show in different cities to practice for the pay-per-view. And then when they have the pay-per-view, they just do what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Really?
Yeah.
So you're seeing a rehearsal
Yeah.
for the pay-per-view.
Not always, but the majority of the time, yeah.
They're getting paid
Brilliant.
to rehearse.
Or they're like, hey, we want to see what kind of chemistry these two guys have together in front of a
Screen
crowd.
test.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
And they get paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Like they don't draw as much as a live event, but they, I don't know, they draw about a third of the crowd. But it's like you said, it's to watch practice. But no one knows it because they're they're good at what they do.
Why is BMX not doing this?
There's a lot of reasons. We need a unicorn.
We need a unicorn.
We need a new unicorn.
Stoney, do you have any belts that are displayed like in your room? Championship belts?
I can go grab one if you want to see it.
Yes.
Yes.
I want it on you.
All right, hold on one second.
Let's see it. Here we go.
So Jerry, the other
What
thing
if Stoney goes into character and he's like,
that would
let me tell you something.
That'd be amazing. I'll tell you, brother.
Yeah.
Because when he puts it on, he gets
yeah.
Flicks
It's
the
exactly.
switch.
It's the switch.
The switch is flicked. Yeah. Oh.
That's why he understood. Like when he talked to me about frog bars, he's like, I know what you mean. I know what you mean by this, because it's like a switch flipper.
Oh yeah.
A switch flipper.
It's a switch flipper.
A switch flipper.
I'm just looking at Stoney's room with
there's a bike in the background.
Oh my gosh, that's my autographed picture that he's got on his door.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's Joe doing the Terra Doom. That's amazing.
Yeah. Stoney's one of the few people who has it. All of the other ones that I've autographed, I've taken pictures of it and sent it to them. So I still have Lee Muscle White's autographed picture. I never sent it to him. I just autographed it, took a photo of it, and DM'd him the photo.
Do you charge for your photos, or do you?
No, I mean, people have to pay me to stop sending them to them. That's how I make money.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even tell you how much fun I had autographing the zine that I sent to Tracer Finn.
Yeah. Tracer's my buddy, man. He's my boy.
I just got called to go into work.
All right. Go be awesome at work. We got you
on a Saturday.
I know. I volunteered for. It's my day to work. Of all time, I was enjoying this. You got to let me come on again.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought Jerry was a brain surgeon?
Yeah.
Jerry, thank you so much for sharing your story, man. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, I mean, Bray knows I've been doing this freestyle stuff since I was about 12 years old, and I'm still just, it's all I still ride. Still just involved, so you need to have me on again, or let's get this video thing rolling and contact me.
Yep. Hey, send me some videos of you riding or whatever stuff, and I'll put them on the Instagram channel and just get people talking about this documentary.
I can do it right now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. And then Delco Media will also tell this story. So you have two channels.
Okay, it sounds great, because this video thing, it sounds really cool, and I'm really interested in what you guys, what we can maybe do here.
The only thing I would say is it will probably be wild, and if we get onto a group text, plan first the hours where you want it to be silenced.
Oh,
Ray
getting on a
can attest
group
to
text with Joe is I read like 75% of them. Some of them. I watch all the videos though. All the videos I watch.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no problem. God, I wish I didn't get called here, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I gotta do this, but at least I brought it up, and you guys kind of seen what it is, and I think it would be something pretty cool to get rolling here.
Let's do it.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Have fun at work.
Yeah, Ray, it was nice. You remembered me after all these years. I can't believe
Oh,
it.
I don't know. How could I forget you? My
Yeah.
fans. Why do balloons keep showing up when I do that? Is somebody doing that, or am I doing
No.
that?
I don't know
It's
why
so
my
funny.
screen is doing this. It's weird. It's all blurry in
What
the
is
back.
that? Look, why are those balloons coming up? I'm not even touching anything.
That's amazing.
Is it my hand?
2 balloons.
Is it my hand?
I don't know.
Is it something I'm saying?
Oh my
Come
gosh.
on, what is that?
It's so good. I don't know.
What is it? Balloons.
Hey, do you guys want to hear the backstory?
Balloons.
Do you guys want to hear the backstory about Zach and his braces and the microwave?
Yeah.
Hit it.
All right.
Hey, Zach, we're filming the show, and I told the story about that George Clark told me that you had a microwave that would work even if the door was open, and the guys turned it on, and you walked over there and your braces sparked. Is that true?
Where'd Stoney go for this belt?
He must be
Chicago?
driving to Target right now.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
That is not true. That is not true. But sending you love from Sin City, Skyline over there, and my 30, 40-year-old friends are making ramps. Not because there's a jam or because it's even legal, because we can. Happy Sunday, my friend.
Oh man, for years.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. Guess it wasn't
Saturday.
Was that?
Hey, Zach, it's Saturday.
That was the braces that caught on fire?
Yeah, he said it was, so apparently it wasn't true.
He said it
So
wasn't true.
I was told a falsehood.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Can't
Well,
believe
see.
everything you hear.
Well, I'm glad for him that he did not have that radiation exposure.
But I believed it for like 35 years. Angie loves.
Can we see if Stoney got hurt?
Stoney totally is. He's driving to Target right now, ready to buy a belt.
Or he's making one. Maybe he's like, Mom, give me your bathrobe. Take the belt out. And he's getting tinfoil, wrapping it around. He's getting into character. Maybe he's putting on his tights.
Yeah.
Putting a sweet potato down his pants, and he's going to come running out with the belt on and yelling at us.
All right, Delco Ray.
Yeah, get Ray talking. Let's get him going here.
We got to get you talking. So this documentary you're doing. So tell us about the documentary you're doing that Raybo fit into in terms of the history.
So the documentary is going to be on the culture of Flatland.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured who best to get some stories from, but
yeah.
Did he tell you about the Amish kids?
The Amish kids.
He used to think, like, back in the day before we could drive, like York, Pennsylvania seemed forever away from Philadelphia. And just because, you didn't drive, so your world was basically like where you could ride your bike to.
Right.
And the kids, they had a little bit of an accent, I think, the kids from York, compared to Ray. And so they even dressed maybe a little bit differently. And so
the haircuts were very prominent
were really
in
different.
there.
So Ray literally, they kind of almost thought that they were the Amish kids because they were just so different, and they were only, what was it, an hour and a half away or something, but it's
an hour and a half.
15 or 16, it feels like forever. Ray, check it out.
Ray, look.
Oh my God. I told you he was putting on tights.
That's amazing.
I told you. Look at that. Can you imagine if you were a kid in high school and you were taking wrestling and then your wrestling coach showed up and it was Stoney? Look at that.
What did I miss?
Can can you please wear that whenever we see you next? Can
Yeah.
you just wear that apparatus?
I haven't worn this in probably 25 years.
Oh
Man,
that's what your nuts were saying as they were getting squeezed into it.
Yes, that's exactly what they were saying.
Oh,
this is so good.
Looks painful. There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
All
He
right.
throws it over the shoulder.
Let's see this. Let's
like
see
Mike
this, Tony.
Tyson used to do.
Yeah.
Look, I told you he's getting into character. He's making.
Oh
the
man,
faces.
heavyweight wrestling champion. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
It's
kind of
like
cool
the
back
US.
in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was when he won the belt in the Target parking lot back in 2001.
Tell us the
No.
story of that event.
It was him and 19 other kids out there and smoldering
Raymo,
hot
tell us
day.
the story.
Yes, Ray, please tell
Ray
us
tells
the
the story of what happened that day.
So Stoney woke up, got that exact outfit on. The belt was from some guy named the Crusher, and he was the champ. And then Stoney showed up. There were 19 kids in the parking lot. It was about 106 degrees. Stoney always entered the ring in the top, going over the top rope like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And then after a 19-minute battle, he won and was victorious and won that belt. And I was there. It was awesome.
You lost steam. You started out strong, and then you just kind of cut it out, Ray.
It was just like the wrestling match. It lost a little steam.
Yeah. All right, so
What do you want?
Delco Ray, tell the story of how Stoney won the belt that day. Speculate.
Improvise.
Oh, I'm not good at improvising, man. It's not.
All right. So here's what I heard.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There was a soda that was a competitor of Jolt. It was coming on the scene. I forget the name of it, but they
Ray's yawning.
sponsored the event.
Sorry, Ray was yawning. Had to throw that out there.
Was it?
It was
What's
Bolt
it called?
soda.
What's it
It was
called?
Bolt.
I thought you were going to go with Dana, but
Wait, who was? I was just. Somebody was just asking me about Sacco. It was
Sacco's
Rodney.
Rodney
was asking me about
Sacco's still
Sacco.
around. It's still around,
Is
right?
it?
Yeah.
Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look it up, it's still like a.
You can purchase it.
Yeah.
You
somewhere?
can purchase it.
Wow.
You can purchase it. Maybe we
Because I've not
maybe we
heard
can get
anything about
Sacco.
it for 20 years.
Joe, you might need to get them to sponsor something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
Get
Yeah.
Sacco.
So Delco Ray, if you could sell Sacco on a sponsorship for the show, you could live in the schoolhouse for. Anyway, so Sacco was trying to. It wasn't Sacco. It was like Bolt soda, and they sponsored this event. Now they were looking for someone who could rain make, because you can't just go up against Jolt soda in the 80s. And that's what triggered Stoney. And so Stoney knew that he had one shot, but
One
Stoney
opportunity.
wasn't known at that time.
Like Eminem.
Would he capture
And
it?
so this setup, this was supposed to be not exactly an exhibition, but it was the champ, the current champ, who was expected to absolutely decimate this kid. Some kid comes out of nowhere. Rumors are that he's hooked up with Bolt soda. The champ is just gonna rip him apart. And something was weird with the odds. So the odds maker had done something that looked like he looked like he was in on something. And so he tweaked the odds a little bit, but that gave people more incentive to throw more money at the champ. Stoney comes out and he takes a fall in the first round or the
I
first
took the
couple of
dive.
minutes. He took the dive,
Yeah.
but he changed his mind. Now now it's important to note, this champ was super buffed. He looked good on the camera.
Right.
But Stoney knew that those are the guys who can't go the distance. And Stoney mopped the floor with that guy. In fact, the final move, he literally mopped the floor with this guy. He poured soda on the ground and whipped the guy's hair across and he cleaned the ring with this guy.
And then my nephew said,
and it was all
that
upset.
man
is mopping the floor.
That man was mopping the floor. And that's how Stoney won the belt.
It's close. It's very, very close.
Pretty close.
Can you sit up a little bit because Todd can't see your nipples?
Sorry.
I'm trying to get the balloons to come, Ray. I can't get the balloons.
I don't know why I was doing that. Balloons.
I don't know what you did to get the balloons to happen.
Now they're not happening. Balloons.
Balloons.
I was going, see you later, love, peace, chicken grease.
Chicken grease.
There you go.
Oh.
Let's figure this out. What? Okay. Love.
Oh.
No. Keep doing it. Peace. Do it again.
Peace.
Hold on. Wait for it. Okay. One more time.
Chicken grease.
I think we got our intro.
Wow.
But why is it doing that? I just got a new phone. It might be the new phone has a feature.
It's probably the new.
I think somebody
got a
pranked you.
fancy phone.
Peace. Yeah, look at that.
What?
I don't know. There's got to be a setting, right, or something.
If I were Elliot and I knew you were doing this, I would get into your phone and I would set the use animations.
All the stuff, yeah.
So what was the real story, Stoney?
I was involved with a situation called the Lunatic Wrestling Federation. And with most startup wrestling companies, there were disagreements, and then people leave to start their own company because they can do it better.
Did they say, I think I'm out?
That's exactly what happened. They stole the ropes, they stole the dual VCR, and they were out. So we had a show coming up, and the champion at the time was CM Punk, who you may or may not be familiar with him. He's known for causing a lot, well, not causing, being involved with a lot of drama. And at the time, he took his ball and he left, even though he was the champion. So they were left without a champion. Basically, they said, how can we say F you to this guy bigger than in the biggest way possible? So they put the belt on me.
I love this.
And
you did, in fact, wipe the floor with him.
I kind of did, yeah. So that's
so
why
good.
I won my first championship, because it was basically a revenge sex at someone else.
So who did you wrestle? What, did you actually do a wrestle, or was it?
It was a battle royal, and I'll send you the video. I have it somewhere. It's horrible.
I want to see this more than the ramp 2-hit contest.
Ray's going to pay $20 to see this.
I'll pay $20 to see Stoney win the belt.
Oh, no, I basically got in the ring, took the mic, and behind me a battle royal happened, and I pretended I didn't know it was happening, and everyone got mopped the floor and thrown out of the ring. And then I turned around, everybody was gone, and there was one guy left, and I don't remember how he got eliminated, and I was the default champion. And that's how I won my first belt. So it's silly.
It's kind of like my freestyle career, almost identical.
People still talk about your freestyle career, though.
Uh-huh.
Like
we're talking about your
We're
wrestling
talking
career
about
right
yours.
now.
we are. It doesn't get brought up anywhere else. And if you would have told me that I'd be sitting here wearing my wrestling gimmicks, I never would have believed you. And now I'm like waiting to see what's kind of bacteria is in this that's going to give me a rash later.
Yeah, you're gonna get something.
You're gonna get something. So Delco Media, this is what we do on the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That was
All
one
right,
of the questions I think that he asked me today. Like, what goes on? Wasn't that you? That was today, right? You asked me what went on.
I did.
Show.
Yeah.
I said And what was my answer? I don't even remember. Was it? I said,
I don't know.
Sit around and talk about
and just joke around, pretty much. Yeah.
Sticker companies.
Yeah, I mean, it's we just sit around and talk like we would talk normally if we were sitting around a table. It's just
I wouldn't be half naked if we were sitting around a table.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Oh yeah, maybe you would. Oh hey, I
kind
got
of
an
might.
idea.
Yeah.
Look, so we know that Eddie Fiola is filming his documentary. Do you guys want to go around the room and just tell a story of Eddie Fiola being great to you? Like Todd, can you start us off and just tell a quick
I've
story
already
about
done
Eddie
that.
Fiola being great?
Sure. I have some pretty good. Almost all my memories with Eddie are things that I could share. I think I lived in California for about 12 years, and I was able to go down to the HB Tuesdays a number of times, and each time that I went down there with Eddie, it was kind of fun because the group usually rides down by the pier or sometimes up in the parking lot, depending on the number of people and the weather and all that. But it's funny because I mean, I could go out and do a cliffhanger, time machine, triple whiplash. It's kind of like, okay, cool, very nice. But Eddie goes out and does his like 180 slider, and like people lose their minds. It's because Eddie has like the ultimate style. He's like, I mean, he makes it look like he's just absolutely one with the bike. Like he's he's just such a style cat. And I don't know that anybody that I've seen replicates that for quite the way, or, rides like Eddie. You could see a silhouette of him and guess who it is right away based on his just absolute kind of iconic style. So being able to see that and just see how real people who know nothing about the sport react to it is amazing, because I mean, he just connects with everybody that sees him ride. He connects with for whatever reason, that his style just is kind of contagious. So it's kind of awesome to see. So it's a good reminder anytime that I'm around him to be able to see that happen, because I mean, style used to be such a huge part of not only what you did, but kind of how it looked. And I think it's still a part of that a little bit, but maybe in the last 20 years things have shifted to kind of what it is that you do, and style probably has taken a little bit more of a backseat. But in terms of how it translates to people, style is still very, very important. So anyway, I'm always reminded of that when I think of Eddie.
Who do you want to call on next to share their story?
I want to hear Ray's Raybo's Eddie, one of Raybo's Eddie stories.
Yeah, Joe's giggling, and it's not a giggle story. It's a heartfelt story.
I know, I love it.
What do you think of that? So In 2011, we went to the Woodward reunion, and it was like it was probably the first time I had seen Eddie Fiola in maybe since I was a kid. I think it was the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first time I've seen him since like the AFA days. So we're talking however many years. And so we got there, and I'd always roughed up Eddie Fiola behind his back. I was always like, Eddie Fiola, he's whatever, just Eddie Fiola. He's a superstar. And I mean, and he was a superstar. Like I was picking on him because he was so damn famous and so good. I just wanted to rough him up a little bit, but never to his face. I would never say anything. And so we got to this thing in 2010 or 2011, and Eddie Fiola was there. He pulled up in this big white pickup truck, and he just got out, and he came walking over to us and just started like talking to us. And we're like, "Oh, Eddie Fiola!" And then like after like a few minutes, I was like, "Wow, this is crazy!" Like Eddie just came up and is like talking to us, like. And at that moment, I was like, he's a real person. Like he went from being Eddie Fiola to just another dude at the thing. And everybody was like riding or whatever. And I was just like standing there, and he goes, "Where's your bike? Why aren't you riding?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't." I'm like, I don't ride much anymore these days. And I didn't bring a bike, but my friends did. And he's like, "Well, hey, I have 3 bikes in my car. Whichever one's in there, just go in there and grab one and ride it. Like it's just go take it." And I just thought it was just weird. I just had a moment where I was like, wow, I was like, Eddie Fiola's like, he's like a nice guy, and he's a real person now. And that was it. I mean, the story's not that spectacular, but for me, in that moment, it was a big moment for me, because I was like, Eddie just was sharing his bike with me, where I was thinking, like, if that was 20 years ago, I would have died. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was like, I was walking around going like, Eddie Fiola said I could take a bike out of the back of his truck and ride it because I didn't bring a bike.
And how awesome
So it showed
awesome is it, Ray, that Ed Helms feels like the exact same way about Eddie Fiola that you do?
Is that the guy that pulled his tooth out and the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Like if that dude was in the riding back in the day and saw Eddie, like on the set, Eddie was the first freestyle superhero. I would say it's safe to say he was a bigger deal than Bob Harrow.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to like kids,
right?
Like Bob Harrow, like he had his business and did the stuff and was the brand of freestyle. But Eddie Fiola was the dude that we saw and was like, holy shit, Eddie Fiola! Like he was, back when he was king.
Yeah, and the whole skate park thing, like it just looked so overwhelming to. I mean, even try to drop in and ride that thing was like super intimidating looking, and he would just flow it and
effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, he's calling his documentary or his book when I was king. I think he should call it When I Became King.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there hasn't been a king of the skate park since, and those titles don't expire. And so he's got it. Ray, who do you want to call on to tell their Eddie Fiola story?
I think Delco Ray. I would love to see if he has an Eddie Fiola story.
Yeah, so I've never met him personally. Unfortunately, I don't have any personal stories. But growing up, riding with me and my friends, I remember all the pipeline video footage, and he was just everywhere, and he was just seemed like such a cool dude. He's kind of like the Fonzie of BMX. Like he's just a cool cat, and I'm hoping to meet him at HB Tuesdays. I'm gonna hang in California for at least a month. So hopefully we'll be at one of those and I can actually get to meet him and say hello to him. Because he is a big part of the history of it, and he really was one of the best.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Fonz
So
of BMX, I saw Joe go right to his pencil.
I went
for that
right
one.
to the. I
The
got it.
Fonz
I
Right
got
to
it
the
written
right to
down.
the pencil.
So I start
Hey.
zines for all these episodes
Really?
now. Yeah.
So that's your title of the episode, right, Joe? Oh,
Well, I don't know. I mean,
you kind of pre-titled it. You pre-titled
yeah,
it.
I pre-titled it. I'm very proud of this of the show cover this week.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
So Delco Ray, who do you want to call on to share their Eddie Fiola story?
Who we got left?
Your options are
We,
dwindling.
we got Joe and
Me
Stoney.
and Stoney.
All right. Stoney, you're up.
Joe, you are the last person picked in gym class. I'm
Yeah,
so
he is.
sorry. Do you want to go take my spot and we'll switch so you don't have to go through that?
No,
I will do that for you.
No, let him suffer.
don't.
Let him suffer.
We're saving the best for
Ray
last.
has heard me talk enough. He's so tired of it.
Oh, where to begin? All right. When I started filming Old Fat Guy BMX, it was me trying to redirect the energy of my gambling addiction into something else. And BMX was a perfect fit. And I pretty much switched that day. I stopped gambling, jumped headfirst, and put everything into BMX, that all the energy that I was in the BMX. So after a year of, I call it being sober, I was kind of proud of myself, and I wanted to share it with all the people who watched the videos I made, because they were the ones rooting me on. They were my support crew. And so I was like, okay, what can I do that's kind of special for them? And I knew that Eddie and Martin and Bill did the HB Tuesdays every week. So I'm like, I'm going to go out there and just film. I'm just going to show up with my camera, and whatever happens, happens. And it may be great, may be terrible. I'll have a story to tell. So I flew out there with my brother and his girlfriend, and they went to Hollywood for the afternoon, and I went to Huntington Beach. It was a nice warm day, beautiful day, and got there, and the who's who of BMX was there. I mean, it was Ray, it was Martin, it was Kid, it was just all these people that I saw in magazines. And I'm not one of these people. I don't have any of these accomplishments. I'm just a fan at this point. I didn't know anybody. So I had my camera, I'm standing there, I'm kind of trying to work up the gumption to talk to somebody. And then Eddie says to me, because I was wearing an Old Fat Guy shirt, something along the lines of, hey, I like that shirt. It sounds like me. I got to get me one of those, which opened up the dialogue to, oh, hey, cool. This is what I do. And at that moment, like he said, it switched from being Eddie Fiola from this guy that I looked up to, like we all did, and worshiped and studied, to a dude who I'm hanging out with and talking to. And it wasn't just like meeting a stranger, it was talking to him. It was like I've known this guy my whole life when I just met him 10 minutes ago. And that stuck with me so hard, because that, like, charisma like that doesn't happen on accident. That's something you either have and it's deep in you, or you don't have it at all. That just, like, it was like being punched in the chest almost. Like, your hero is as cool as you would hope he would be. And I like stuff like that. And then fast forward to the Rad in Texas, totally remembered me. Hey, come on, he jumped into my interview, and okay, cool, Eddie wants to be part of it. And then saw him in Dayton at the Buckeye Bike Show. and the jam circle was going on. Stony, grab your bike, do some tricks. And I didn't have my freestyle bike, so I couldn't do it. It's not like I could do anything impressive anyway, but it was just cool that he knew who I was. And that maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's just a low self-esteem looking for accomplishment thing, but it was awesome. Like, it was just awesome. And then I saw Brant have an interaction with him, and exactly how I sound now was exactly how Brant sounded after he met him. So he's just got that energy about him. And in addition to being Eddie Fiola, he wasn't too good to talk to anybody. At the Buckeye Bike Show, every single person that walked up to him, he didn't just sign, here you go, kid, see you later.
Yeah, he wasn't Krusty the Clown.
Not at all. How you doing? Where you from? How'd you get into riding? And how can you not notice and respect something like that? So that was my little, of the 3 times I've been around him, that's pretty much it. And I took away part of his energy, and that's the energy I try to give to other people now. Like, if he's Eddie Fiola and he's acting like he's known everybody his whole life, how can I not do the same thing? It's not like I was mean to people anyway, but that was just a little nudge, like, hey, this is why we should do this. And that's my story. And Joe, I pick you.
The last kid.
Eddie was on the show with Maurice Meyer, and Eddie was really cool. And we gave him the overgripper story, and he thought that was really funny. And he goes, actually, I've got something. Stay right here. And he went back and he got a cease and desist, or he got a skateboard that had his silhouette. And he said, what does this look like? And Dave goes, it looks like you, Eddie. And he goes, yeah, it does. It is me. He goes, does that look like Bob? And he goes, no. And he goes, but I got a letter from Bob. And he told the story about how Bob sent him a cease and desist letter. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And I was like, and I go, Dave, we still have the opportunity to do a logo for the show, right? And he's like, yeah, because I think we hadn't even put one out yet. And so I asked Todd to cut a silhouette of me doing no-handed steamroller and put that as a silhouette of FactOrFreestyle, because I wanted, with the same yellow background as Bob Harrow, because I wanted to bait Bob Harrow into sending me a frameable cease and desist letter, because I wanted it in the back, like how people put Guinness Book of World Records behind them. Eddie thought that was funny. And he laughed in a way, like he genuinely laughed, and he kind of rolled his eyes like, wow, imagine that. And so I was like, good. Because this is what I do when I meet someone that's that I have, when I have great admiration for someone, my mission is to figure out how to make them laugh. And it's actually really hard, because a lot of these people I have great admiration for are pretty accomplished, and they've been around lots of funny stuff. And so I have to work really hard to figure out an angle to make them laugh. Well, that one kind of made Eddie laugh, because it was like a skewer back at Bob, because I guess for years they've been trading skewers. They're friends. Anyway, so I knew that I had to get to Woodward West in order to meet up with Bob. And when I got there, I was rehearsing overgripping people. So I recruited Pete Augustin to help me train to overgrip. There were a couple others. Ruben was helping me. And then Eddie, John Bulgens was helping me. Well, John Bulgens saw Chad Kegi walk up, and John just turned right from me to go talk with Chad Kegi. And Eddie observed this because we had already set up Dave and James McGraw. We're going to film me overgripping Bob Harrell, and Bulgens was my sparring partner, helping me work out the approach, and he just bailed. He was like, "Oh, hey, Chad Kagi." Eddie was like, "This kid has a dream." And as ridiculous as it may sound to other people, I see a kid with a dream. And I could see it in his eyes when he walks up to me, and he had this helmet on, and he's like, "Hey," and I go, "Eddie, can you help me?" And he had this look in his eye, like he had needed to help someone. Like he kind of teared up a little bit, and I was like, I think this means more to Eddie than it means to me. But anyway, so then he helped me on approach, and we went up. Dave was running interference talking to Bob. Eddie rolls up, starts talking to Bob. He's like, "Oh yeah, this guy's a gym teacher." And then he goes, "Oh, hey, do you know Joe?" And he goes, "Joe, do you know Bob?" And just like that, just like we rehearsed, I came in down, okay, engaged here, got my middle finger around Bob's knuckle, and just slanked him in. And
was it the hardest you
I
ever shook someone's hand?
I didn't shake it hard or squeezed it hard, but I didn't let go. And when he pulled back, you know when you're holding on to something, you're like, you tug it and like it doesn't move at all, and you're like, this isn't going anywhere. That's what I did to Bob Harrell, and I held it. And Eddie was right there, and Eddie was the one who coached me.
Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
I sideways. I got you guys last week, but you
we can and said, all right. And
to this show then, so we can see the clip, because I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I'll pull it up. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Okay, so
It's
Ray,
so
going
funny.
back to your point. So your point is that, so you've listened to all the episodes, but some of the feedback that we got in Pennsylvania.
people are like, who first invented something, and they fight all about it. But who like, does it really matter who did it first? You know,
yeah,
it kind
exactly.
of
No
does,
one-
but it kind of doesn't.
Yeah,
Is that
no
you
one
with a
really
mustache?
cares.
You look like a pastry chef. What is going on? He falls down.
That's a.
Hey, is that Big Island in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Let's get John.
This is Joe Cinnamon Spice right here. He is ready to find out if it is actually true. If, in fact, Bob Harrell is over gripping.
Yeah, so what we're
say
gonna
about this?
Well, so we're going in hot. We're going in hot, high, down.
Who gave you the advice to go in high?
It was RL.
RL, you're good, buddy.
It was RL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
conspired.
amazing. Are they the king of the over gripping? RL and Bob Harrell?
It's just Bob. I mean, Bob's the one who's been over gripping people for years. He's denied it, and he's been out here a lot. But I think he's holding back.
I gave him $20. It's to
Did you?
dominate. It's to dominate.
It's
his
completely to
dominant
dominate.
thing, to let everyone know that he is authoritative.
He's authoritative. He is. All right. So, who's gonna? Are we gonna get John in for cover?
I think John needs to take a piss. Alright, so
am I going over first though?
here we go. We have Team Harrell representing. Are you scared? Are you scared?
No, I'm ready.
Does Bob intimidate you due to his excellence in BMX?
No, man.
All right. Well, here we are. Joe
we are.
Sisman
We're gonna do
is
it.
ready with the help of his good friend Chad.
With the help of Chad right here.
Chad Kagan's going to get in on this,
Right?
What
did I just agree to? I don't know.
Yeah. So
You got it in slow-mo?
I've got
you or me? Want me to show you what you need the target? Okay, yeah.
There it is. This
Yeah,
is how
right there,
you
right there, right
properly
there.
get
That's the-
an over
that-
grip.
And it's this.
You gotta go. You gotta lead with this. Straight down.
Yeah.
Oh, the finger is what does it.
You got because you gotta lead in. You gotta.
Where was your mind at? Get that getaway from there.
All right. He's got to be used to that, right?
He is. I'll be like, hey, I'll get the picture of you guys. You're gonna need to get in line, wait your turn. Just because you're with Eddie Fiola doesn't mean you're important. But Eddie Fiola gave you advice. Like, how does it feel to get advice? You have no idea. This is a defining moment in the history.
It's so much has been coming up.
This has been
So
a
much.
quest for knowledge. Is it true?
It's so true.
He's a shop teacher now.
Eddie, I dropped off a stack for you.
I saw that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have you seen this one here?
No.
All right. Have you met Bob?
Hey, Bob. How you doing? What's your name? I'm Joe. Yeah. How's your man doing? You gonna remember this?
No. Are you over gripping Bob Harrow?
I'm over gripping.
No, go
I'm over
over
gripping Bob Harrow. You got this, man. All right.
Is it true or is
Oh,
it
look
not
at that guy.
true?
Oh.
Is Bob Harrow an overgripper?
Now you know.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him about me.
He said.
After I had been abandoned, and the whole thing almost fell apart. But Eddie saw something that he could make a dream come true, and
He was like
did.
a stepfather.
He was like a stepfather.
He saw somebody. Yeah, he was like your stepfather that moment.
Yeah,
That is a beautiful
And he-
story, Joe.
and he asked for nothing in return. In fact, he even told me, "Look, you don't eat. You can stop thanking me now." He like unfriended me on Facebook. He's like, "Look, you don't owe me anything." But
we should do a
we
show
were-
someday, a list of the people who unfriended you or blocked you.
But
Me being one of them.
that's
Ray.
true.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on,
Give
I'll
us
be
your
right
story,
back.
Joe.
I'm gonna go block Joe real quick.
Okay. Join the club. But I was telling Chris Young this story while we were coming back from the jam circle, or we were heading to the jam circle, and Chris was like, "No, are you kidding me? Are you joking around?" And Todd goes, "No, he's not." And I called Eddie, and it first ring. He picked up.
Wow.
Where did you block me, Stoney?
We
I
got to
don't
get
know.
Todd back
Yeah, we lost
We gotta-
Todd.
Yeah.
because he
Well,
doesn't know
Todd
that
knew this
that
story.
I blocked your phone number, like legitimately blocked your phone number, and how he found out I blocked it. It was the
That's so
funniest thing
funny.
ever.
That was so funny. You were so mad. So
I was so mad, and then I remembered why and when I blocked you. It was a long time ago. It was
So
it was
mad.
like a long time ago.
Do you remember that picture of Mira that you sent me?
I sent you a picture of Mira.
It was
Whoa.
in his
Oh.
basement. The gold bike was in the background. You were sleeping.
Oh, and he had his nuts on the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah. When Losi was asking for photos for Dave's funeral, like his big party funeral that he had after his funeral, we sent all these pictures to him, and he was like, he loved all the pictures because they were pictures that nobody had ever seen. Like, we would go to Greenville all the time. And then I sent him that photo, and I was like, I don't think you'll be able to use this one, but it's a good one. And I was taking a nap, and then Dave put his eggs on my forehead, and then someone took a picture. But, you know, Dave was into that kind of stuff. But wait, I sent you that photo, and then what?
I just wanted to know if you remembered sending me that photo. But well, it was somewhere, you blocked me somewhere in between. And so
yeah, so Todd, you don't know that I blocked Joe.
No, I don't know this story. I've never.
Yeah, like a long time ago, Joe messaged me on Facebook about something, and then
it was the Tuner Revolution car show.
Yeah, but we were like,
yeah.
We were going back. No, I'd never even heard. I didn't know who Joe was at all. I didn't know him at all, and then somehow, I don't know how I don't know who made the first contact. I'm guessing it was Joe who made the first contact.
Yeah,
and then it had to be, and then so Joe and I were going back and forth with something, and then after about 2 minutes of me realizing Joe was a crazy person, I just was like, oh, this guy's got my phone number now. And then I just blocked his number because I was like, this dude's not going to stop, because he was like shrimp rocking frog bars back then, but with other nonsense, you know? And so I was like, and Mark Eaton had verified that Joe was a weirdo. Eaton was like, I'm like, yeah. I go, do you know this guy from Ohio? And he's like, oh yeah, Joe Sisman. He's a Flatland dude. He's like, he's a little weird. I'm like, yeah. Sent me some weird stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. So then, fast forward like 10 years later, and he's doing factOrFreestyle, and we're all on this like group text, and I'm sending Joe stuff, and I'm like, why are you not answering any of these texts I'm sending you? And he's like, you haven't sent me anything. I'm like, I'm sending you all this shit. And then
he wanted to yell at me. He wanted to yell at me. He's like, we have to have a conversation because you can't ghost me.
And then I started going through my phone, and I saw that he was on the blocked list. I had blocked him.
Joe, check your Instagram messages.
And he could very easily get blocked again, because no one is safe.
Oh yeah, no one
is safe.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, I gotta roll.
Yeah.
What?
We better be able
Are we calling it quits?
I thought we were just getting started.
So Delco Ray, what'd you think of your first time?
It was fun, man. Thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, Ray.
Absolutely.
Delco Ray, before you go, do you have a Rob Lowe quote?
I don't.
No?
You can just make up a quote and then attribute it to Rob Lowe. That's usually what happens.
Okay.
Being that
get rad.
There you go.
Get rad.
Get rad.
Get rad.
Rob Lowe said it best. Being that he's also from Dayton, Stoney.
Rob Lowe is from Dayton?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Wow.
No kidding. Do you know people that know him?
Oh yeah, I do. In fact, his dad still lives in Beaver Creek and works there, and his family's from just a little bit north of where I live. Yeah.
Do you think we can get his dad on the show?
Probably.
We can get Rob Lowe on the show, probably.
Probably. You might be able to get Chad Lowe on the show.
Oh yeah.
Ray wants. I'm still holding out for Corey Feldman, but if I do, Ray probably won't show up.
If you got Corey on, I would die.
He won't respond to messages.
Yeah, he doesn't respond to. I think if I got.
Then you know what? We're gonna need to go see him.
Yeah.
We may need to go.
Yeah, Ray. The next time he's in Philly, go see him.
He was in New York not that long ago.
Yeah, I know. I remember we had a conversation about it.
Some of his
Pauly
videos
Shore.
are
Pauly
spectacular.
Shore. That's who we should. Another person we should get on the show.
He's doing a movie and he's going to be Richard Simmons. I
Wait a second.
saw Richard
Who are you talking
Simmons
about?
at the
Pauly Shore.
It's
Pauly
Richard
Shore?
Simmons. I can see that
Yeah,
one. I
he's
can see that.
perfect. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, just looks just like him. He looks just like him.
Oh, he's
crazy.
He is perfect for that.
All right, let's let Todd go. We'll see you guys later.
See you, Tom.
Do you want to say it, Todd, or should I say it?
Oh, you could say it, Ray. It's your line. Yeah.
Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll see you guys later.
See you, friends.
See you guys.
See you, man.
Delco Ray,
See you
call
guys.
me, brother.